Hello and welcome to another episode of Punch Drunk Nerd, the podcast where three friends, three bozos, three amigos, three bambinos coming together to talk about nerd shit. Wow, what an idea. It's me, Luis Gonzalez, and of course, I'm with...
Miguel Sanchez.
And Ed Bull.
That's right, this trio is coming together in the middle of the week to finally talk about nerd shit. Listen, this week we have a lot of news. I mean, so much news, it's bursting out of the seams. So much news, that's all we're going to talk about today, really. There is no featured discussion. The featured discussion is about D23, the news drops of that, and then the Emmys. We'll do a quick little recap of the Emmy wins, and then we're going to wrap it up with what we're into. So, news, and what we're into. Look, that's the agenda we have today. I'm going to get right into it. No messing around, no joking. All right, let's put that to the side, and we're getting straight to the news. Ed, hit us up with some news.
All right. Well, as we know, on top of all the other winners, we got the Venice Film Festival winners, which we were talking about last week. So I'm just going to quickly list off the main awards. It's not like too lengthy, so I'll try and fly through it.
And Ed, for people who just tuning in, what is the Venice Film Festival?
So we're obviously into the awards circuit now. The Venice Film Festival is I think it's one of the first ones going into the season post Cannes, and it's just where a bunch of movies will premiere in and out of competition, and you start seeing those early reviews of early Oscar contenders.
Perfect.
So yes,
I'm excited. These are the movies I have to look forward to. Okay.
The Golden Lion, which is essentially the best film, the Palme d'Or of the Cannes, the top prize went to All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, directed by Laura Poitras. I have no idea what that movie is. The Silver Lion Grand Jury Prize went to Saint Omer, directed by Alice Diop. The Silver Lion Best Director went to Luca Guadagnino for his movie Bones and All, which we have discussed previously about the cannibal lovers. The Special Jury Prize went to No Bears, directed by Jafar Panahi. And then the three that I really want to talk about, Best Screenplay went to Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin.
Wow.
Best Actress went to Cate Blanchett in Tar. And Best Actor went to Colin Farrell of The Banshees of Inisherin.
Hell yeah.
So that's very exciting. And then lastly, Marcello Mastroianni Award for Best New Young Actor or Actress went to Taylor Russell of Bones and All.
Wow.
So, anyway, very excited. The reviews coming in for the Banshees of Inisherin have been glowing, and everybody is saying this is like Colin Farrell's best performance, which I'm really excited for. So hopefully he's coming in as a strong contender this year. And then Cate Blanchett in Tar, also people have been raving about her performance in this upcoming movie that drops in October, I think. And we've talked about that trailer too. So go check out those trailers and get ready for this Oscar season. Over to you, Luis.
You heard it here first, folks. The Banshees of Inisherin. Check it out. It's going to be a hit. Same with Tar. All right, guys. Listen, we're going to talk about D23, but there were also some video game conferences that happened. I'm just going to spit them out to give you a quick update. So we had Nintendo Direct. Nintendo Direct gave us some news. Everyone's been waiting for it for years. They're saying, when is the Zelda sequel? When is the Zelda sequel? Well, guess what? It finally got announced. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. All right, not Tears of the Kingdom. Some of you might think Tears, but no, they're spelled the same, but it's very different. This is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's coming out May 12th, 2023. And then there's going to be Pikmin 4 coming out. And for Switch Online, Switch Online is a great little thing where you can play old games on the Switch. Well, finally, the golden gem of 007 is coming to Switch Online. A game that defined generations will now be available for people for GoldenEye. Yes, will now be able to play online. So Miguel, Ed, me, we can all play this online. Hey, we could go on Twitch and play it online. You know what I mean? So it'd be a good time. Another game we could play online is Mario Party 1, 2, and 3. We could have a whole night of just doing Mario parties. But listen, if you don't want to have a party, if you just want to fight something, maybe some animals, Pokemon Stadium is going to be available also on Switch Online, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. Another classic, Herbie's Return to Dreamland, was a Wii release in 2011. It's being
it's a Wii
re-release. And then finally arriving on Switch. These games have already been here, but please, for the love of God, come to Switch. Tunic, September 27th. It Takes Two, which is a game. It's a co-op game that I have heard so many good things about. If you have a partner or friend or whatever, and you want to play a game with them, this is the game to play, is what I've been hearing. It's definitely on my list. It Takes Two comes out November 4th, and Sifu November 8th. That's Nintendo. In fact, hold on.
You gotta.
I'm doing the Switch sound effect with the actual Switch.
I know what you're doing. I saw it, dude. I saw you do it. All right,
we're moving on to PlayStation State of Play. Look, God of War's coming out, okay? I'm excited to talk about that because, that's been on my list here. God of War Ragnarok. They have a new controller. Sure, they're just trying to get our money, but it's out there if you want to know. And they showed a lot in this new trailer. I'm not going to see the trailer. I did see the first trailer, but when I heard talk that they were showing too much in this trailer, I'm deciding to not look. But it's all very exciting. I'm sold. Tekken 8 was revealed. Yakuza's Ishin spinoff is coming out February 2023. Hogwarts Legacy is getting a PS exclusive quest. PlayStation is starring a loyalty program, and the open world samurai game Rise of Ronin is coming. Great. Let's move on to actually we'll have a quick sneak peek of D23. D23 games. Marvel Midnight Suns. This is a tactical turn-based role-play game. Ed, you're playing. What are you playing again? That game? Total
War.
Total War. All right. If you like Total War, you might like Marvel's Midnight Suns. It's coming out December 2nd. It's going to be all the spooky fans coming together. Captain. Okay. So Miguel, did you play the game Uncharted?
Uncharted? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, strap in your boots because Amy Hennig, the person who worked on the story of Uncharted, is working on another game with Captain America and Black Panther together. It is set in World War II, probably going to go against Hydra. It's going to be a young Steve Rogers at 19 years old. And Black Panther, it won't be the Black Panther that we know. It'll be T'Challa. It'll be his great grandfather, I believe. And it's going to be like, if you know Uncharted, it's going to have the cinematic action, adventure game, story and character driven. They're structuring like a TV show where it's going to be kind of bingeable and serialized adventures. So you can kind of take into chapters. I'm really excited about that. So there's that. And then for my Pokemon Go friends who like to go on the go to catch Pokemon, Pokemon Go is making a game for Marvel. So if you don't know Pokemon Go, it uses the real world and has Pokemon popping up everywhere, and you kind of catch them as you go. You could go to Starbucks. Oh my God, there's a Pikachu. You could go to a library. Oh my God, there's a Bulbasaur. Well, now they're taking that real world experience and bring it into Marvel. You might go to the bathroom and you're like, oh my God, Loki's here. We got to fight him. We're not sure what's going to happen with that, but expect real world experiences with Niantic's Marvel. And finally, to wrap it all up, we have a Tron Identity game. It's a visual novel puzzle game. And yeah, that's it. That's the quick games. We got some more quick news. I'm going to shift this over to some movie news. Joker. We have a new cast. Jacob Laughlin from The Maze Runner is going to play a key Arkham Asylum role. And we've been getting a lot of news about cast people. Like we got Brendan Gleeson from who's actually appearing in Ed?
The Banshees of Inisherin.
That's right. So you can see him in The Banshees of Inisherin. You can see him in The Joker, as well as Catherine Kinnear. Moving on over, we got
Lady Gaga.
Oh yeah, Lady Gaga. We also, if you like things spooky, if you're a fan of the 2000s, Strangers, they're coming out with a remake. And it's going to star Madeline Petch. She's the redheaded girl in Riverdale, to kind of give some perspective. They're going to remake it. She's going to, go somewhere, probably stumble on Airbnb, and oh no, Strangers happens. But they're going to continue the story along with 2 more movies and build out that world. Ed, you were a fan of Elvis, right?
Yes, I am. I watched it very recently, in fact.
Well, guess what? We're getting more Elvis, baby. They're making a Priscilla Presley biopic with Sofia Coppola, Kaylee Spaney, and A24 team. Look at that. They're doing it again, but this time they're doing it again,
Yeah.
and it's based on the same memoir from the Elvis movie, Elvis and Me. It's going to have Jacob Elordi as Elvis and Keller Spaney as Priscilla Presley. Finally, you got thoughts?
I just don't know why.
I don't know why either. I felt like it was we had such a good performance in that Elvis. I feel like having another one's going to be like,
on the heels of kind of like a successful take on it. And granted, they're going a different way about it, but that's too close.
It's very strange. And have you heard of Austin Butler's like process? How he went through Elvis? He like locked himself
That's intensive.
up. It was a very intensive like.
He went Heath Ledger with it.
He did.
Imagine doing all that work though. You know what I mean? And then 2 months after that movie comes out, they're like, anyway, here's another. You're like,
yeah.
What am I, a joke to you? You know?
Yeah.
I thought I was going to get an Oscar.
And that was like a big deal. Yeah, exactly. Well, whatever. We'll see.
It's
A24.
That's what I mean. I have weird feelings because it's A24, but also like we just did this. So I like that we're talking about Priscilla Presley, but still it just feels so soon. Like we just did Elvis this summer. But that was Elvis, obviously box office hit. Another box office hit, one that we're talking about here, is Barbarian. This one snuck up on me. We haven't even talked about it on the podcast, but I want to see it. It got $10 million, number one. It has Bill Skarsgård, Justin Long, Georgina Campbell, Zach Kreger, and Kate Bosworth. It has a young woman. A young woman discovers the rental home she booked is already occupied by a stranger. Against her better judgment, she decides to spend the night, but soon discovers there's a lot more to fear than just an unexpected house guest. I've been
Sounds
told,
like Strangers.
Yeah, it is, and I've been told by people who have seen it that it is a fun ride, and not to look more into it. Just kind of go in blind and enjoy the movie for what it is. And I think that's just it was kind of coming out of nowhere movie for me, so I wanted to bring it up. I was trying to sneak in a watch, but I just couldn't get it in time. I still want to see it. It's on my radar now. But Ed, we have so many movies that are on our radar.
So many.
Yeah.
You guys ready to have your ear talked off? So this is another year where directors want to tell their stories of why they love movies. And who better than to tell that story than old Steven Spielberg? So Stevesy Spielberg talking about the Fablemans, which is a semi-autobiographical movie on how he came to love movies. So starring Michelle Williams, Paul Dano, Seth Rogen, and Gabriel LaBelle. That's a fun name. Growing up in post-war World War II era Arizona, a young man named Sammy Fableman discovers a shattering family secret and explores how the power of films can help him see the truth. No less. Typical to Steven Spielberg, the trailer looks lovely and dramatic, and I don't know. Yeah, this is. It's a solid cast, and it's Steven Spielberg, so we'll see. And it's a personal project, so it might be good. One I'm a little bit more excited about, of course, is The Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery coming to Netflix this Christmas. From director
we're going to be
Ryan
so
Johnson.
Spoiled coming to Netflix. Everyone,
one of 3 sequels to A Knives Out, and this one with a stellar cast we've talked about before, but I'll go through it anyway. Daniel Craig, Edward Norton, Dave Bautista, Janelle Monáe, Catherine Hahn, Jessica Henwick, Kate Hudson, and Leslie Odom Jr. The basic premise is a tech billionaire, Miles Bron, played by Norton, invites his friends for a getaway on this private Greek island. When someone turns up dead, Detective Benoit Blanc is put on the case.
I like that we have this whole new detective character. You know,
Yeah, me too.
It's becoming iconic for our generation.
Knives Out was a lot of fun. I think Rian Johnson is an incredible director and writer, and I'm glad like Netflix just kind of handed him this budget and this series, and he's just leaning into it, and it's a fun role for Daniel Craig too.
Ryan Johnson is like universally hated, and it's so unnecessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
So
just because, and I say universe because it was Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just because, you know what I mean, people didn't like that movie doesn't mean he's not like one of the greatest directors of all time.
Right. Exactly.
Of all time, you guys.
Of all time.
I mean,
you got Looper, you got Brick, you got some of the greatest episodes of Breaking Bad.
Exactly. That's what I'm greatest episodes. Ozymandias, all right? The Fly. Like, these are key Breaking Bad episodes.
Knives Out was like just kind of like a beautiful comeback. Not even a comeback, just kind of like a fuck you to Star Wars.
Yeah, don't call it a comeback.
Totally.
Yeah, like it was a perfect film, like a really fun mystery with a massive cast and everybody's having a good time in it.
Yeah.
It feels the same for this one. Like, it's just, there's like a quirkiness to it. I mean, obviously you've got Daniel Craig, who just came out of James Bond, playing this, to quote Chris Evans' character from the previous film, Kentucky Fried Chicken detective. Like, it's so much fun, and I like how all of these actors are just kind of relishing it. So, yeah, it could be fun. And so far, word out of the Toronto Film Festival, which just started, has been positive. So
yeah, it looks like some good. I guess see some high reviews for that one.
Yeah, and then most recently they finally dropped a trailer, and this one I'm really looking forward to. Is the director Damien Chazelle's Babylon. This is his follow-up from first movie since First Man.
First Man,
yeah, which was a great movie. Check it out. This one is, I guess it's not too specific, but it's set in Hollywood during the transition from silent films to talkies, focusing on a mixture of historical and fictional characters, starring Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt, Diego Calva, Gene Smart, Tobey Maguire, Lee Jun Lee, Olivia Wilde, Samara Weaving, Catherine Waterston, and Eric Roberts.
And for people who don't know, he also directed La La Land, and Whiplash.
Yeah,
and
which,
Whiplash.
You have to clarify something to me,
Luis.
You hated La La Land?
Yeah, I didn't like that movie.
It's like one of Ed's favorite movies. You know this, right?
I guess not. I thought we were all on the same page in that text chain, and then you were like,
"Oh, bro,
who's pushing buttons
not even
now?"
Remotely.
No,
not even remotely.
I was blown away.
When I found out they didn't win the Oscars, when I saw that they won, I was like, "Oh man!" And then they came back and like, "I'm sorry," and they didn't. I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, suck it in. No, that was a very contentious year. I can't believe you didn't know this. Ed is. Oh my god, talked my ear off about fucking La La Land basically ever since it came out.
I was obsessed with La La Land. I think it's
the music, he plays it in his house.
Music. Yeah. And I think Damien Chazelle is one of the most exciting and one of the best directors out right now. So
I love Whiplash too. I was excited for La La Land.
Incredible. La La Land is incredible. First Man was incredible and severely underrated.
You said that though, but I immediately said, I saw that movie First Man. I don't remember much about it at all. And I like
Tell me a lot of movies that you do remember.
I do smoke a lot of weed.
Wait, Ed, is this a movie that you're going to force us to? You still haven't told us what the summer box office wager movie we have to watch.
I do have that in my mind. And yes, I was considering Babylon. Maybe we'll reveal that at the end.
Babylon isn't like, you can't, that's not like pulling teeth. I feel like we're all going to watch Babylon.
Well, no, it sounds like you hate Damien Chazelle and don't want to watch any of his features.
I like his other movies. I just didn't like La La Land.
Well, La La Land didn't like you, and frankly, for someone who lives in LA, the La in La La Land, you should, I don't know, fuck yourself.
Luis lives there, right? Like, surely he can be like, no, this movie sucks. You know what I mean?
No.
If it was a movie about Houston, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hugh Land. Okay.
Hugh Land. Oh, I want to see Hugh Land.
You would,
Pew Pew
and you were like, I didn't like this movie. People would be like, well, you fucking live there. You should fucking like it. Bleh.
Yeah. Fair enough. Touche. But I was just surprised. And I feel like we
could
how
do
we
a deep
haven't had
dive.
that conversation in the years that we've known each other.
Uh-huh.
La La Land came out in 2016. What the fuck?
Wow.
Wow, that's
Jesus
so long
Christ.
ago.
All right. Well, yes, I'm very. You guys watched the trailer to this? I mean,
Oh yeah,
looks
it's great.
wild.
It looks wild, looks exciting. I'm here for it. I love the colors. I will say I
Yeah.
love his colors.
What about
and-
you, Miguel?
I actually didn't watch this yet, but I've been talking to you guys about Brad Pitt being in this movie and him looking so fucking cool.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm on board for this. Like,
you should watch it because Brad
late
Pitt looks like
stage.
he's having a great time.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It looks really good. I'm here
And
for
Margot
it.
Robbie, to be honest, it looks like a weird. It looks
I'm
like
a
a
little
weird
burnt
mesh.
out.
You're burnt out on Margot?
Margot Robbie. Oh, give me
Hey,
a break.
That's why you didn't like
Everyone calm
Birds
As
of
if,
Prey.
like, when was the
Okay,
last
it's
time you
'cause-
saw any of her movies, Miguel? You just burnt out on the get off of social media or something. I don't know what.
that's interesting. What was the last Margot Robbie
Yeah.
movie I saw? I mean, obviously, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I loved. You know what I mean? That was probably
Yeah.
one of the last.
She's had a
ones I
lot of
watched.
projects since then.
Which ones? Name 5.
Okay. Well,
Or
there's
as many as you can.
She
Thank
has
you.
that upcoming project that's coming.
And
Barbie?
super excited about.
I am very excited.
No,
about
not just Barbie. The other one.
Blonde.
She's in Blonde.
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. Yeah.
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 Sorry.
David O.
What was
Russell's.
it called?
No, the David O. Russell movie.
No,
the
not
Margot-
Yeah, no. Yes. But what was I thinking of? That the one with Nicole Kidman and Charlize Theron. Where they were like the
Oh, yes,
Oh.
the news
they worked on
reporters.
Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fox News.
The
What was
Fox,
that? Well,
sexual harassment.
Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't actually see any of those movies that you just mentioned, so maybe that's a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. You just kind of say these things, Miguel, and I want you to stop and think.
No.
Lastly, I just threw this in at the last minute.
No.
Luis, I don't know if you even managed to watch it, but
I did
there's
not, no.
A trailer got dropped. It's Austria's Oscar pick, Oscar entry this year. Corsage, starring Vicky Krieps, playing Austrian empress in the 1800s. Anyway, the trailer looks great, and Vicky Krieps is a really great actor. So, that looks good. Anyway,
Awesome.
over to whoever wants it next.
All right, it's me. And you know what? Before we move on to the feature discussion, I have some news that I wanted to share. Some new news.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
So as you guys know, my closest friends, I'm engaged to get married, and we have a wedding date finally.
Oh.
So now that we got the wedding date, we have a new place. I wanted to say here in this podcast, Ed, Miguel, do you guys want to be my groomsmen for my wedding?
Oh. Oh,
Yes, of
Luis.
course.
Dude, of course.
Dude, hell
Oh,
yeah.
man.
This is the biggest news out there, okay?
All right. Well, have a good night, guys.
We're done, everybody. Thank you, listen to
That's
Punch
the
Drunk
news.
Nerd.
Thank you.
It's been Luis Gonzalez, Miguel. I'm just kidding. No, honestly, like,
Oh,
you guys have been,
course.
yeah, you know, we've
Yeah,
known
of
each other in college, you know, and in Houston, and obviously we're making this podcast now. We're super close. We talk every day. I couldn't have, you know, when I thought about who I wanted to be there to stand up next with me, I thought Miguel and Ed. I gotta have my boys up there. So I just
Well,
wanted to make it public to
Luis,
the world, to show my
gladly,
love for
without
these
question.
boys.
Without
You know,
question, we'll
this
do
isn't
that.
just us acting like we're friends on this podcast. We're really friends.
We are
and
friends.
we are friends, you know. And so
A little bit less now because I found out you don't like La La Land. But
Right.
If I could get bumped up above Ed, at least,
Okay,
you know what
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean? I
Wait,
liked
you-
that movie.
during in the wedding, I'll have you a little bit closer to me, and then I'll have Ed a little bit farther from me.
Just a little bit. All right.
I'm gonna wear the outfit that Ryan Gosling wore in that movie.
Oh, man.
Bite you. What? When is the date? Where did
It's going to
Are
be
you ready to
September 23rd, 2023.
That is a good date. That's a
23,
good
23, let's go, let's go.
23, that's right. So we know we're almost a year to that date. So
I
had
gotta Google this real quick.
I had to make the call. Now I'm gonna add you to the text chain. We're gonna start moving. We're gonna start grooving. All right.
Looking and cooking.
Looking and cooking. All right. So that's the last bit of our news. I was very excited to say this.
Congratulations.
I've been looking. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we're gonna move on to our a feature discussion. D23. Holy shit! I'm telling you, there are like 6 properties here that we have to talk about. It's Disney, Pixar, Disney Animation, Lucasfilms, Marvel, and then an Avatar. So
what does the 23 stand for?
The 23, I think, stands for the year Disney came out.
Oh, like 1923.
Yeah, when I think
23 is in the future for us.
Let us know at Punch Drunk Nerd.
That's when you get married.
What does I really think in the top of my head that it started. Yeah, founded October 16th, 1923. So D23.
Thank you. Sorry.
So, and funny enough, it makes sense, Ed, because the first thing they showed was the 100-year anniversary logo.
Yeah, now it does. Yeah,
now it all makes sense. So 2023, D23. This is what everyone's talking about the internet. Little Mermaid. Okay. Starring Halle Bailey. Yeah. Reactions. Talk.
Did y'all see the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Like
It's
10 times.
It's one trailer you watch.
Okay, first off, I watched every single one of these trailers except fucking Babylon, okay? My bad.
Corsage.
I saw the Fablemans.
Well, you booked Corsage like 1 minute before the podcast started.
Yeah, well, you had 1 minute to watch it.
The podcast is 5 minutes long. I mean, the trailer's 5 minutes long. Okay.
But, yeah, so I told you guys we watched Pinocchio last weekend.
No, you didn't. I didn't know that.
We watched it too. What did
You
y'all think?
did? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to know. I'm not seeing it, so I'm excited.
No, coming out of it, I reaffirmed just the ongoing feeling that these live-action remakes are no good.
You didn't have a little bit of fun?
We turned it off.
Oh!
Sarah didn't want to watch it, and Lily got tired of it. She wanted to watch Wolf Walkers again, which is a wonderful movie.
Wolf of Wall Street? She wanted to watch Wolf of Wall Street again?
Yeah, Leo DiCaprio is her favorite.
Margot Robbie.
Thank you, Luis.
Yeah.
That's wild. You guys turned it off?
Yeah.
We continued it. I didn't finish it because I slept in the next morning, but they watched it the next morning when he woke up. It was like the first thing we did.
Oh, okay.
We put it on the TV again.
And I assume he liked it?
The boy did, yeah. He thought it was funny. I mean, he talked about Pinocchio for a few days. He
better not lie.
Attention. He didn't say that. And although, you know what, actually, we should watch this movie again because he's a little shit. Definitely.
Has he watched the animated one? Just out of curiosity, because
we tried to watch that one first, like a couple weeks ago, and he wasn't really into it. And then here, the live action one. The live action one is like the same animation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not animation, but you know what I mean. They
you recognize the character.
They did the Sonic treatment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They just like copied and pasted. Fuck me.
Well, I wonder. Lily watched the animated movie a couple of weeks ago. I wonder if that's
did she
why.
Like it?
I guess so.
I didn't like it as a kid either. It felt very.
I mean,
dry.
it's a weird one. It's.
You know what was blowing my mind is in Pinocchio. That's where they sing that song, like "When You Wish Upon a Star."
Oh, yeah.
Like that's like Disney's, like talking about Disney's 100th anniversary.
Absolutely.
Or whatever. Like that's like when you think of Disney, you think of Tinkerbell flying through the castle and the logo and that fucking song. And it's like, when do you ever? You don't ever think about Pinocchio. You know what I mean?
No, you don't. You're right. Yeah, exactly.
That was
the movie itself is like dark and weird. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah. But, no, like getting kidnapped and turned into a donkey. Like that's deep. The whale used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid.
The whale.
Yeah.
The whale. See, there was one bit I did want to watch in the live action. Like, I like monsters on film.
Wanted to see what it looked like.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we'll go back and finish it. But Lily wasn't having it, and at that point, it's out of my hands. You know what I mean?
Tell Lily I'll do a watch party because I missed the second half too. Okay,
I'll tell her that Forrest. I'll tell her that Forrest enjoyed it.
With Disney, you can do a watch party. You can have multiple people watch at the same time. So you can get on FaceTime, get a little computer, iPad. this is fun, and then look at the TV. You know what I mean?
Let's do it. I'm sorry, that was more so for my chair fucking up, not the prospect of me watch partying any Disney movie. If it's not Remember the Titans, I don't want to watch.
But now that you've watched Pinocchio, I mean, what are your thoughts for Little Mermaid?
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
General feelings towards. I'm gonna be skeptical about any live action remake, especially when they're doing this frame for frame bullshit. But it sounds. You've obviously noted that they've got 4 new songs, and aside from the terrible, awful reactions to this trailer, the positive ones are so fucking moving. Man, it is so sweet. And I tell you, the next morning, after I watched that trailer, I went into my bedroom and I showed it to Sarah. And then the next morning, when Lily woke up, I showed it to her. And Lily was so excited about it. Yeah. She really loves Little Mermaid right now. She's really into it. She really loves Ursula. And so she was excited by that prospect. She recognized it immediately. She was, because just the music itself. And and I mean, so for that reason, I can only be excited, and I appreciate that this is going to be a very impactful movie for a lot of people. Hopefully. Now, hopefully it's good. You know, it's directed by the guy who did Chicago and Mary Poppins Returns, Rob Marshall.
Right.
So he's a musical director. He's worked with Disney before. It was after Mary Poppins Returns and subsequently Aquaman that they decided to go forward with a live-action remake of The Little Mermaid because, you know, it's going to look weird, right? Doing all those underwater scenes.
Right.
They've clearly found a balance, and her voice is amazing. So, you know, let's hope, fingers crossed that it's good. I'm not, overly thrilled for more of these live-action remakes, but that's where I stand.
But if they're going to do them, you know what I mean? Might as well watch, might as well talk.
I mean, we'll end up watching it. That's the thing.
It looks. The boy is kind of into the Little Mermaid. We haven't really watched the movie a million times or anything, but he does talk about the mermaid. Yeah. When he sees her on Disney Plus or whatever, the cartoon, the thumbnail or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. But I watched the movie a lot when I was a kid. I mean, the trailer looks really good. I don't give a fuck that the Little Mermaid's now black. You know what I mean? That apparently is a big problem for a lot of people. I think that's silly, but I mean, I'm excited. The movie looks good.
Yeah.
She's a good singer.
Oh yeah. So good. I think I'm in this in-between phase, of just, I'm beginning to see maybe these, I've reached a strange point where I can usually get behind movies, but I mean, I'm hit this point where now, you know what? Maybe these movies just aren't for me because they've been making, which is so weird to say because I feel like I can get on board on a lot of movies and I can put my mindset into a lot of them. Even I have a youthful spirit, you know what I mean? I like this stuff. But for some reason, like Lion King, what other one? Aladdin.
These are movies that defined our generation,
right? Exactly.
And so, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. No, go ahead. No, I mean, that's it. They define it. We're of course, we're going to be protective instinctively. Right. And these movies, I mean, whatever. It could be quibbles on our part, but they don't live up to those things that kind of shaped our childhood.
Yeah.
For me, it helps that I have a kid. So when Forrest wants to see the movie and we sit down and watch it, even if I would initially be like, I don't think they need to make this movie again. You know, the original one's right there and it's so good. Just watch that one. My kid's not necessarily going to watch that one. You know what I mean? He's going to watch the new one, especially when it's pushed right in front of his face on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Right. So it's and as a parent, I get to enjoy the movie. I get to enjoy the story again through their eyes, you know?
Yeah. I think my problem is the approach of the filmmaking style of these movies. They feel
very generic.
Yeah. It feels like Miguel's favorite word here. It feels syrupy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
and it feels just a little bit
tacky.
A lot of money to film it in a green screen space, and they're just they're throwing a lot of VFX, and it doesn't feel inspired, is what I've been saying.
Yeah,
you know?
it's just shot for shot.
But I will say, like, kids are reacting great to it. It's the first time they're witnessing something like this. Do you know what I mean? And so it is still effective, and it still is inspiring them. And obviously I've lived some years, so I have points of reference to be like, oh, I could see how this could be better, But I'm happy that it is making kids excited for these stories again. And I'm only going to be hesitant towards it because for me, I don't mind a retelling of these stories. But I just like the skin of it. I just wish it was done in a different, you know.
For example, isn't Guillermo del Toro doing a Pinocchio movie? Is it del Toro? You know what I mean? That one looks very fresh, really good. Very new. You know what I mean? If my kid doesn't like it, I could watch it and still get something for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the conversation I've been having here at the house lately. Is just every time these remakes come out, it's like, as a director, an actor, a writer, or whatever. Like when you're just like shot for shot, scene for scene. Maybe sprinkling a couple of new things here and there. Like, are you really like making something? Are you like creating? You know what I mean? Or are we just like copying? You know, like Tom Hanks being in this movie. It's kind of like if Disney came to me and said, "Tom Hanks, we want you. Here's $5 million.
Yeah,
and you have to do the exact same lines the way the fucking voice actor did in Pinocchio." I mean, I get why you would take that role. I mean, that seems pretty, you know, easy. But is it, you know? Does it have the zhuzh?
Yeah.
It doesn't look pretty to me.
There's a certain timelessness that comes with animation.
Yeah.
And when you start putting actors to the very same scenes that we grew up with and are embedded in our minds, it kind of takes away from that magic.
I think there's some, I don't know, the animation that was done, there's some musicality even to their movement, into their performances, that when I see it happen in real life, it's like kind of muddled. And it doesn't have that same, I don't know, visual musicality to it that I got from animations where they kind of frame it together. And on top of that, the whole like VFX green screen over obsessionness. But like, again, this is where I'm feeling like these movies aren't for me and they're being effective towards the younger audience. They're inspiring kids. You know, people are seeing The Little Mermaid and they're blown away, seeing themselves on the screen, which is beautiful. So, you know, it's an exciting time for that. But this is rolling into a couple more movies that are having the same treatment. Well, actually, not this one, because this one's a brand new one. But a Mufasa prequel is coming out, and that's going to be directed by Barry Jenkins, and this is going to be told in flashbacks with Rafiki, Timon, and Pumbaa telling the story of Mufasa to a young cub.
Man, I see Ed shaking his head. I feel like maybe we feel the same way about this. I was already kind of like, I don't know if we need this movie. I you know, hence the conversation we're having, I guess. You know, Mufasa, again, such a very like important, pivotal character to the story of Simba and the Lion King, yada yada. Do we need to know what happened beforehand? It wasn't until today, though, that I saw this note that it's Rafiki, Timon, and Pumbaa telling the story that I was like, I don't love this. This is Seth Rogen. Think about, you know what I mean? Whatever impact. I mean, Barry Jenkins is a very good director. You know, we were talking about La La Land earlier. Moonlight was the same year. You know what I mean?
Luis, is that it?
You know, I trust Barry Jenkins, and if this is the story, you know what I mean, he wants to tell, you know, he's a good filmmaker, so I trust him. But I don't know. I just
That's
like...
an odd
Mufasa fucking grew up as a, you know, you're just like, okay, all right.
And it's even weirder because they didn't know Mufasa.
That's, yes, at all, right? Like,
so it doesn't really make sense.
Rafiki makes sense.
Yeah, Rafiki. Like, if it was just Rafiki, that has more weight to it.
It has to be predominantly Rafiki, right?
Yeah.
Like, it has to be like him, the narrator, the trusted one.
He's telling Timon and Pumbaa, maybe.
Yeah, and they're there like for the fun to sell tickets,
right? But the comedic, the comedy breaks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Give me that Seth Rogen laugh one more time, Miguel.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I saw it pop up on my feed, and I didn't mean to do it, but I rolled my eyes. I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm in this weird place. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. And then for some reason, when I saw it, I was just, I don't know.
It's
weird.
Man. It's unnecessary. Like,
again, I say this knowing
Disney,
that I'm learning I'm not the audience, and so these things could work. But for me, us, this is how we feel. Let us know at Pressure Nerd how you feel.
Do we know? I mean, is it James Earl Jones coming back again? I mean, he came back. Wait,
if he's supposed to be, no, I think they recast him. I think it was like,
He was in The Lion King, right? Like he came back for that movie, right? I was about to say that, then I was like, hang on a second, let me pause for a second before.
His voice is old as hell. You know what I mean?
We were talking about this in Star Wars, the most recent. What was it? Obi-Wan. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Them using like AI to create his voice. So I'd be curious if he's coming back for this.
Well, it'll be a young Mufasa, so might have like a younger tenor.
Oh, can't wait to see the cast. Can't wait to see the cast.
This one's closer to Ed's heart.
Ed.
Come with me on a journey to Neverland again.
Where's Neverland, Ed? Ed, where's Neverland?
Second start of a right and straight on till morning, baby.
Hell yeah, it is. I don't need no GPS for that.
It's that one on the right. The second one on the right.
Ed,
yes.
I love you, man, and
But you hate Peter Pan.
I understand like your love for Peter Pan and what it stems from, how it shapes you, how you interact with the property. Like I get it. But as we've already had this conversation, but immediately you sent me this poster for Peter Pan, and I was like, no, not again. Like, we can't keep making this Peter Pan movie. I mean, since fucking adulthood, Ed, since we've been adults, like graduated high school into adulthood.
That's been 3.
There's been a lot of Peter Pan movies.
Honestly, I don't remember them. I just remember...
No, of course you don't. Because they're not...
Because you didn't see them, Miguel.
Because they're not necessary. They're not good.
I remember... I don't remember.
I was telling you this. It's like if there was endless stories for Peter Pan, right. This, Peter Pan that, Peter Pan this, Peter Pan that. Okay, I can understand like the source material being rich, enough to make these movies. But it seems like every fucking, not even 5 years, it's like every 4.5 years, they're like, let's make one more Peter Pan movie and try again.
It's not even remotely the case. I'm
every
afraid.
4.5.2 more years, they're like, Peter Pan, please.
I know it feels like that, Miguel. It's just not true. And also, the last Pan movie that came out was not a Disney property. The last one was 7 years ago.
Is that the one with Hugh?
Prequel.
No,
Hugh Jackman, yeah.
Hugh Jackman. That
was a prequel to Pan.
Was it good? It
wasn't very good. No, it wasn't very good, all right?
What about the one before that?
That one, it was fine. It was geared towards kids. I showed it to Lily. She loved it.
What about the one before that?
Hook?
Peter Pan.
No, it wasn't Hook. It wasn't Hook,
what
you
was the
asshole.
One
there was another one before that. I think there was like the green one.
What's the one where Coldplay clocks played?
That was Peter Pan.
What was the one
I
after?
was talking about with
the
Jason
one after
Isaacs.
The one after that was
Pan
with Hugh Jackman.
Right. Which was like...
Which one had the guy from Tron in it?
That was 14 years later. That was Pan.
That was Pan.
Okay. All right.
So
I'll say this, though.
There was 14 years between Pan and Peter Pan in 03.
It doesn't matter.
That was also not a Disney property.
It doesn't matter if I'm wrong. It's just how I feel, Ed. Okay?
Tell you what, Miguel, I have seen Bruce Wayne's parents die more than I've seen Peter Pan on screen.
And that is a shame. And that's a shame how many times we've done that.
Yes.
But if you're going to bring it up, I feel like I Googled this, Ed.
We did.
And there have been just solo Batman movies, like 10 Batman movies and 7 Peter Pan movies. So they're not that far off. Okay, it's not like I compared Batman to fucking a movie that just came out for the very first time. Whatever. Peter Pan and Batman, it's like they've been basically holding hands through fucking Hollywood for the last 20 years.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's time for a new one. I'm not saying it's going to be good.
Right on schedule.
This also comes with the live action remake problem.
Right. This is joining the live action.
But it's coming, and it's also coming to Disney Plus, which drives me crazy.
I bet it does.
Like, I don't know what Disney's doing right now.
You know what they're doing.
Jude Law's Captain Hook. Can't be that bad. David Lowery is directing, who directed The Green Knight last year, which is gorgeous.
Crazy. The craze that the man who directed Green Knight is directing Peter Pan and Wendy.
He also did Pete's Dragon. So
I know.
Not only is he like an aesthetically, visually pleasing director, but he knows
He's
how
also
to
a bad one.
He could tell a children's story. He knows his way. Like, Pete's Dragon was a much better film than it deserved to be. The remake of it, and I would implore you to check it out. But it's really good, and he's also a big fan of Hook, so win-win. Anyway, fingers crossed for that. By the way, I looked up who's playing Mufasa in the remake not the remake, the prequel. And it's Aaron Pierre. You guys know him?
No.
He was in. Did you watch the Underground Railroad that Barry Jenkins did, the Amazon Prime series?
No.
He was in that. Anyway, he's a good actor, so
great.
That's an intriguing casting. Anyway, so Peter Pan coming out next year.
We got, and then I just wanted to say who Peter Pan's played by Alexander Maloney. He's from the Reluctant Landlord. From a BBC series, new kid. And then Wendy's played by... Of
course it's a new kid.
Played by Ever Anderson, who
it's
was...
Robin Williams back from the dead.
Who was young Natasha from Black Widow and young Alicia in Resident Evil Final Chapter. That's it.
I'm sorry, wait. I need to ask Ed one thing, real quick. This is Peter Pan related, okay?
Okay.
Ed, I'm pretty sure I've sent you this before. I don't remember your response. Have you ever heard the song... Oh, God. It's by Chance the Rapper. No. God, where's my phone? Hold on, because I've got it right here.
Chance the Rapper.
The Rapper and Peter Pan. Does he say something obscene about Peter Pan?
Peter
Pan.
Sure
does not.
I love him.
It's from the Coloring Book album, released in 2016. Okay. It's called Same Drugs, okay, by Chance the Rapper.
Oh, yeah, we have talked about this.
We have, right? I feel like I brought it up. I was listening to it recently, and then we talked about Peter Pan, and it just felt so relevant. Luis, have you ever heard this song before?
No, but I'm on a Reddit.
I'm
on a Reddit post, and I see it. Same Drugs is about Peter Pan.
It is. Well, it's not about Peter Pan. Like, it's about, like, Chance and a lost love who's, like, grown up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's still a kid. You know what I mean? It's a metaphor, and it's one of his best songs.
Okay.
Right?
So it sounds like you really like Peter Pan.
No, but I enjoyed this take. At least it was fresh and different. Okay.
Fair enough. All right.
Well,
you know what's also fresh and different?
What is?
What's that?
Another remake of Snow White.
Snow White, which was the first animated film for Disney.
With Kristen Stewart. Nope, I'm wrong.
Wow.
No, I was joking, because that was a recent remake too.
Yes, that's true.
This one instead has Rachel Ziegler of the West Side Story fame and Gal Gadot as the evil queen. So that's interesting. That's interesting. It's directed by Mark Webb, who did 500 Days of Summer.
Yep.
And The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yep.
Which might just, like, level your expectations. I don't know.
Oh, yes. Now I see. Yes.
Oh, yes. So they showed a trailer. Is that right, Luis?
They showed a trailer. I don't know what happened. You know, Snow White.
It's just called Snow White.
It's just, another one you might have enjoyed. It was kind of a cult classic, this movie, Enchanted. A lot of people in our time liked Enchanted, so they're coming out with a sequel
Can I just say, I never saw Enchanted.
Oh,
but
really?
This trailer made me want to see Enchanted and this film.
Wow.
You know what?
I was really taken with it. I thought the trailer looked great.
I would venture to say that this movie, the trailer, did not make me excited about this movie at all.
I'm
Really?
in between because I have seen it.
I liked the first movie. No, I'm saying the new movie. I liked the original movie because I thought it felt very fresh. Oh my god, I feel like I've said that so many times this episode alone.
Really syrupy?
No, the anti-syrupy. Okay.
Oh, okay.
No, and it was really good. Like Amy Adams really fit the role. This one, it just felt kind of like the trailer made me feel like, okay, cash grab. You know what I mean?
I felt
like
cash grab, but I also felt like I'm down to watch it. I'm like
it's going some fun places. It's going
it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
it took me by surprise. I will say that.
Yeah,
I expected
that's
worse.
The biggest thing.
And then
I can't believe you have never seen the first one, and this one was the one that you were like, oh, I could watch this movie.
I wasn't like opposed to the first one. It just never happened, and
it definitely was a movie that flew under the radar.
People loved it, and so this one, I probably had the lowest expectations going into the trailer. I watched it on a whim, and I was just like, oh wow, that genuinely looks like a good time. So
I like the twist that's happening where she comes from a fantasy land and here she's going to the real world. And so in this movie, the New York City is becoming too much. So she's moving to suburban area to kind of rebuild her fantasy. At the beginning of this trailer, typically in the fantasy world, when you're singing, you get birds and squirrels and bunnies and all these things. And then this trailer starts with her singing in New York City and she gets cockroaches and mice and pigeons with like one eye. And so she's like, I want to go to the suburb and recreate this fantasy. And somehow she's bringing the fantasy world into the suburban world. And she is technically a stepmother to a child. And so what happens to stepmothers in fantasy
Patrick
movies?
Dempsey, you dirty dog.
What happens to stepmothers in fantasy movies is that they're typically the villain. And so you see a little bit of that coming out in this trailer where she is kind of leaking into this villainous character. Yeah. And that took me by surprise. I was like, oh, that's a fun. That's a fun angle. I didn't expect them to go there. So,
and it's got Idina Menzel in it.
Yeah.
Was she in the first one?
I don't remember.
I don't think her or Jason Marsden.
No, he wasn't.
He was.
James.
He was in it.
Was he?
James Marsden.
Yeah,
he was the prince.
He was definitely.
He was the prince from the animated
the fantasy world. Okay.
Yeah. Idina Menzel was in Enchanted, the first one. I forgot, but
we're
I knew.
all idiots.
We're all dummies here. So yeah, no, it's going to come out November 24th this year. Another movie that's coming out very soon is Hocus Pocus 2, September 30th. I loved Hocus Pocus. I'm a little weary about Hocus Pocus 2, to be honest. I'm going to come at it with not high expectations, but God damn it, I do love that first one. So that's what's fueling me, is just the love of the first and very low expectations for the second. Anyway, Haunted Mansion, they also announced, and that was the thing. So we're going to Pixar. Pixar had about 4 stuff. Elemental, we talked about Elemental before in this podcast. It's coming out June 16th. Directed by Peter Sohn. He did The Good Dinosaur, and he was the voice of Socks of Lightyear. It's set in a city where fire, water, land, and air reside together, and the audience got an exclusive look. So this is kind of the same situation for me of like Inside Out, Soul, like this whole like, I don't know. I feel like we've seen it before, but just in a different thing. But Elemental, win or lose. I heard it was emotional. Elemental was, so there's that. Win or lose.
Elementary.
Yeah, Win or Lose is a first time long form series for Disney Plus. It follows Pickles, a co-ed middle school softball team. Oh, I'm sorry. It follows The Pickles, a co-ed middle school softball team, in the week leading up to the championship. And then each episode takes place in that exact same week with a different character and a different style. This reminds me of that TV show on Apple TV Plus, The After Party. If you didn't see it, it had, what's it called? Ben Schwartz and a bunch of great people that I can't think of. But
and Will Forte is the coach.
Will Forte is the coach. But in the after party, there was a murderer. Someone died in the after party, and someone had to retell what happened that night. And everyone kind of told it from a different perspective. Some person was a musical, some person was an action movie, some person was a comedy, some person was a romantic comedy. And so it seemed like this is like, oh, this is the same vein, this is the same vibe of like each character is going to tell or experience a story in a different way. You know, one person might be more happy-go-lucky, one person might be more actiony, one person da-da-da. So it's kind of cool. It'll be cool to have the kids get that type of style. But yes, Will Forte as Coach Dan streams 2023. New movie, brand new IP, nothing we've seen before. Elio. This is the new Pixar movie. Elio.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it.
You get that reference?
No, I don't.
Oh, never mind.
I don't get the reference.
But it made my skin crawl.
Call Me by Your Name. They whisper each other's their names to each
Heisenberg?
What?
Heisenberg?
This isn't Breaking Bad, buddy. Oh.
Heisenberg? Is there
No, we're moving on.
This is about an 11-year-old, Elio, 11-year-old. Ha! See what they did there? 11-year-old who is creative but doesn't fit in. Obviously, we're all like that. But the mom is a top secret military person who's working on a secret project to decode a strange signal from outer space. But in fact, it's Elio who makes contact, gets beamed into space, and is subsequently mistaken for an intergalactic ambassador for Earth. Early in production, but it seems like a very fun project that won't pull on my heartstrings too much, because sometimes Pixar does that. A movie that definitely pulled on my heartstrings too much and makes me afraid to ever watch it again. Inside Out is having a sequel. Inside Out 2 is going to happen. Riley will be a teen with new emotions. What happens with teenagers and new emotions?
No, I feel like I'm shaking my head a lot. So
what's your emotions? Can you do that fucking
disappointment?
Do that Maybelline hair shake one more time. Do that shit.
Oh, look at that! Look at that.
That's glorious.
Did you ever
dude?
see Boy Meets World when he tried to like
Made a
move his
haircut.
head and he couldn't because he had short curly hair?
Slow-mo. Pantone Pro V, because you're worth it.
Not a sponsor.
Not an Inside Out fan, Ed?
No, I liked it, but I did not scream at me like, oh, fuck me, I can't wait till like see the next one.
Well, unfortunately, Barry, not Barry's in his name. That's the character who plays in the show. Why did I put no Barry in here?
That's what I thought when I read that shit earlier. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's talking about Bill Hader.
Yeah.
Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling.
Yeah, I don't know why I put Barry.
That threw me through a loop
That's
too. I was just like,
Subconsciously.
was that the name of his character in there?
No Bill Hader, no Mindy Kaling, because they apparently lowballed them. So
money-wise?
Yeah, money-wise. So it's going to be weird.
Okay, well, off to a great start.
That's
Pixar.
wild.
Thank you.
Imagine being Amy Poehler. Imagine being friends with Amy Poehler, and you're like, "We're gonna do this sequel, right?" She's like, "Hell yeah, we're doing this sequel." And then you get your check, and you're like, "This isn't enough." And she's like, "Hell yeah, I'm doing this sequel." You're like, okay, all right, Leslie, I see you.
What are some other emotions we think are gonna pop up?
Libido.
Puberty.
Libido. Ooh, is puberty an emotion?
Well, it's something.
Yep.
I don't know.
So
Probably like
tune in.
What was that animal from the Mr.
Oh, the Bojangles or something. What's his name?
Bing Bong?
Bing Bong. Yeah.
The reason why I won't watch Inside Out again is because of Bing Bong.
Yo,
Bing Bong.
That's what I hate about Pixar, because they'll do that shit in every movie. I don't really care for Inside Out.
That's why I like A Bug's Life,
not my favorite
because
movie.
their stakes aren't
That's
that
not
fucking
mine.
high. Do you know what I'm saying?
But when I think about Bing Bong, when I think about these, exactly.
I don't want to have
Pixar
a crisis.
stakes.
I don't want to have like an identity or like an existential crisis when I watch a Pixar movie every single time. I need to take a little break.
No. Yeah. Can we just have fun again? You know what I mean?
Yeah. A Bug's
Like-
Life.
Exactly. Oh God, that movie was terrible though.
Are you kidding me?
No,
Okay,
I'm fucking around.
Walt Disney Animation Studios. They also make animation stuff. It's always weird because Pixar does it, and they're like, we want to make animation too. We still did it. We did it first.
We did it first.
They're coming out with a movie called Iwaju. It's on Disney Plus. It's a long form series collaborated with Pan African comic book company Kugali. It's a love letter to Lagos, Nigeria. It has a futuristic depiction. I have to compare it to like a Wakandian vibe.
Oh man, yeah.
But it's a coming of age story that deals with socioeconomic statuses of people. So it's like a place, and they have an island and the main island, and so you're gonna have people on the island who are a little bit rich, and you have people on the main island who are blue collared. So you have like the dichotomy of those two and how they get along, and it's cool. I think it's like it's a cool little path that they're taking. Strange World, we've been seeing a trailer for that. Jake Gyllenhaal's in that. It's about a family coming together to save a strange world. And then finally Wish. Ed, you want to talk about Wish?
Yes, I would love to.
Because you put in these comments, you put in this text, didn't you? Or no, was that me?
I think that was you, man. But I
did it. I woke up one morning and I was like, "Who put this text in here?" I thought it was you.
Please subscribe to our Patreon so Luis can have a nap.
No, you're right. Actually, you're right. I did do this. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. The film is a fantasy, and this is like what Disney needs to be doing more of. The film is a fantasy movie about the power of wishes and dreams, and explores the origin of the iconic Disney wishing star, which we were talking about earlier. Set in the Kingdom of Wishes, it's a magical land where wishes can literally come true. The theme was chosen for Disney's 100th anniversary and ties together a major theme across all Disney movies that wishes can come true. The art style of Wish combines watercolor animation, Disney's original art style, with CG, which Disney uses in the modern era. Wow. Wish will star two heroines, Asha, played by Ariana DeBose, and a 17-year-old driven optimist and leader in the making. She will face one of the most formidable enemies in the universe and will have to team up with Star, a cosmic force and boundless ball of pure energy, and maybe chaos.
So it's a place full of stars. They make wishes, and then she has to team up with one of these kooky stars.
And they previewed one of the songs.
I didn't know
Ariana
that.
DeBose. Yeah, there's a video. We should probably put a link on it, but it was very lovely.
Nice.
As I'm sure you could expect, Ariana DeBose is a very talented actress, just right out of the Oscars. The song was nice. So,
awesome. Well, let's
original content, please, Disney. Thank you.
Yeah, you know what? I will say that for Disney, original content, Iwaju and Wish, pretty cool. And Strange World. Now, a company that is doling out not original content, Lucasfilms, continuing to create. That was a jab. I'm sorry. I love Star Wars. So, Bad Batch.
But I love it when you jab.
I know. Bad Batch Season 2 is coming out January 4th. 16 episodes, 2-episode premiere. And in line with that animation style, obviously from Clone Wars, from Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi. It's a Disney Plus thing. It's going to be 6 shorts, 15 minutes long, and they are split into 2 paths. The dark side and the light side. Truly, but mostly it's Doku and Ahsoka. Dooku, thank you. Count Dooku. October 26th is when all of it drops.
That's crazy.
And Ed, what do you think about Tales of the Jedi?
I thought, obviously, I'm a big fan of the Clone Wars. I have not watched the Bad Batch. Have you?
I have seen the Bad Batch. Yeah, I
would
say
it's mid.
It's look at him use it. I think it needs to, for me. I think it needed to find a little bit of its footing. If you like the world, if you just wanted some extra content for it, I think it's there for you to watch it. Do I think it's necessary?
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary, but it is a fun extra bonus watch.
Yeah. Well, this trailer I thought looked good. I'm excited. I'm really more excited to explore Count Dooku's past than I am Ahsoka's. I already get a lot of Ahsoka's, backstory in Clone Wars, essentially. So, Yeah, it'll be interesting. It looks good. And also, to anybody who didn't know, for canon purposes, Count Dooku was Qui-Gon Jinn's old master. So
they're locking that in.
Get to see a young Qui-Gon Jinn too.
Nice, that's cool. I always like a little Qui-Gon Jinn. Actually, I'm beginning
to
like
a little bit Qui-Gon.
I'm beginning to like him more. A little McQuaggy. You know what I mean? Let's look Quiggy.
What's up, Qui?
And this show, so it's really cool. It's like just you get some new lore, new edition, and they just get to pop it out real quick. At the very end of the show, at the trailer, you see Ahsoka and an Inquisitor, and the Inquisitor I think says something to the effect of like, "And who are you?" Yeah. And then Ahsoka does that smirk. So I did the audible of Ahsoka, the book that came out, and it follows her journey after she leaves the Jedi temple. And I think it's this is going to tell that story where Ahsoka gets her white lightsabers. And there's this really cool moment. I guess spoiler alert if it's going to happen. You can skip a minute. But in the book, you know how Ahsoka has 2 lightsabers?
Yes.
And have you seen the Inquisitors? They have a lightsaber that spins around like.
Yes.
So it's spinning around, and I think in the book, Ahsoka like somehow stops the lightsaber in the middle and grabs it as it's spinning, and then breaks it in half or something like that.
Ooh.
And she takes those kyber crystals that are tainted with the red, and they are reformed and recolored into white when she holds it, because that's what happens with kyber crystals is they get tainted by the dark force, and that's why they become red. And the colors change to whatever your kind of force energy vibe is. And so when she picks it up, it becomes white, and she has those cool white. That
is very cool.
She gets them back. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Oh, we'll see what happens. Let us know at Punch Drunk Nerd what happens. So that's exciting. Another show. Is this a movie? Actually, I don't know what this is.
It's a show.
It's a show. Okay. John Watts, he did the Spider-Man movies, and he was joking around with Jon Favreau. They were talking about this at the D23. Jon Favreau obviously played Happy, Tony Stark's buddy, in the Spider-Man movies. And, while they were off set, he would talk to John Watts and be like, hey, I'm doing all this Mandalorian stuff and Star Wars stuff, and I would love for you to do it. And they finally collaborated, and John Watts took up on his offer and is working on the Skeleton Crew, which is kind of going at the heart of Star Wars, where, for me, 10-year-olds who get lost in the galaxy trying to find their way home. It's a coming-of-age story, and it's about hope. I feel like, in the end, that's what kind of Star Wars should be about. So at least that's what George Lucas says. It's about hope. It's about inspiring young kids. And this is kind of like falling suit to what like George Lucas had in mind. We talked about Hook, who's being played by Jude Law. So Jude Law came back day 2 on stage and was like, yo, I'm in this show as well.
Got a fat old Disney check.
Disney paycheck, that's what I'm saying.
He was in Marvel. Okay, he was in Captain Marvel. He's going to be Peter Pan and Wendy, and he's going to be in Skeleton Crew. The man
it must be
banking.
So respectfully, Jude Law. It's so easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once you do like one... People didn't even love Captain Marvel. Do you remember how much hate that movie got from the nerds? You know what I mean? Or whatever? And Jude Law was like... I don't give a fuck. Here's another paycheck. Here's another paycheck. Here's another paycheck. Dude, God, I wish.
I like, I've always loved Jude Law. So when he's in it, I'm in it. Mandalorian season 3 came out. They debuted a trailer. Not much said, except a lot of people were just kind of talking on stage. Ahsoka series, they've casted Ezra Bridger as Iman Esfandi. He's kind of newish, but some old casting news. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Hayden Christensen will be there. Natasha Lee Bordizzo will play as what's her name? Oh, Ren Sabine. Ren Sabine. Thank you. To my brain. She's from The Society, the Netflix TV show. Sabine is an awesome character in the Rebels. Ed, I know you haven't seen Rebels yet. I would recommend Rebels. Rebels builds a lot more onto the lore of Star Wars. I think season 1 is kiddish, but as it goes on, just like in Clone Wars, it becomes more to it.
I'm not trying to spend a lot of time on this because I feel like we maybe have talked about this before. But Luis, you just made me think about this. Like, you guys both have watched like Star Wars animated shows or whatever.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about these characters coming into the live action? You know
I'm
what
excited.
I mean?
I'm excited for it.
Ed?
Ahsoka is like one of those unsung Star Wars characters who is clearly like a big part of the story, but was just never a part of the original concept.
It would be like
it
a
was
Star Wars character, but only ever seeing them in an animated movie or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to see them.
So I'm intrigued, and Rosario Dawson is. I like Rosario Dawson, so yeah, it'll be interesting.
I mean, yeah. Ahsoka's a huge person. I mean, Ahsoka was made with Dave Filoni and George Lucas together. And so it was just this kind of like outside character that never got fully integrated. And she has a huge history with Anakin Skywalker that I think rivals, for me...
Obi-Wan.
Well, no, I was saying Luke Skywalker because Luke Skywalker is,
sorry.
the son of Anakin. But, Ahsoka has a closer relationship with Anakin Skywalker. And at the end of Return of Jedi, Anakin does turn and to the good side, the light side, Jesus Christ, not the dark side. He turns to good. But it's like he barely knows this fool, and he knows Ahsoka a lot more. And so I always find their relationship really interesting between Ahsoka and Anakin Skywalker. That's why I like seeing it. And because I've seen Rebels, I see Ezra Bridger, I see Sabine Wren. They're going to be making an appearance. I think their story is, there's a lot more to their story that I'm excited to see. And Bo-Katan, Miguel, I don't know if you know her, but she was in The Mandalorian. She was the redheaded girl in Mandalorian season 2.
Oh.
And she's also at the end of she's in the finale of The Mandalorian as well.
Of season 1?
Of season 2.
I haven't gotten there yet.
You don't what?
No, I'm sorry. I'm watching a lot of Mad Men right now. I don't have time to watch The Mandalorian. Okay. I'm sorry.
Well, you need to get all right. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is Bo-Katan, she played the character she's playing now. She voiced that character in Clone Wars and Rebels, which is crazy.
Oh, that's cool. So they're
mean?
using the same actor.
Right. So like Ahsoka isn't played by the same actor.
Sure.
Voice actor, and neither is Ezra Bridger or Sabine Wren, but Bo-Katan is. She voiced the character and she got to play the character, which is a very cool situation to be in, If
you're going to transition this character from animation to live action, it's kind of fun to be the person to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. And when she was animated, it kind of looks like her too. So it kind of all the stars kind of aligned specifically for that character.
Very quick side note, I'm curious about that for like HBO's The Last of Us, because there's a couple of Last of Us voice actors who are coming onto the TV show as well.
Oh. As the same character that they voiced?
No, not quite, which is kind of, interesting. You want to see
Well,
they know this world and what can they add to it in a live action universe.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it is one of the coolest things to have this voice actor do this like 10 years ago playing the same role again. It does and does make something special. A person who was obviously we've seen before, Cassian Andor, Ender to some, coming September 21st. Obviously, it's going to be 2 seasons, 12 episodes now, 12 episodes later. We know this spy thriller. It's fine. We all know what the deal is with Andor. Indiana Jones. Okay.
Oh man.
Let's talk about Indiana Jones. Go for it. I'm just not even going to say anything. You guys talk.
Yeah, go ahead, Miguel. Talk.
You know what? Everyone knows what I'm about to say, okay?
I hate Indiana Jones.
I'm just not really into Indiana Jones.
Too much sand.
You know what? He's too old. Did you see him crash that plane? No, listen, I obviously as I've explained before on multiple podcasts, I feel like at this point, I watched the very first Indiana Jones movie I saw was Kingdom of Crystal Skull,
Wait, actually, I didn't know that. Did we talk about that on this podcast? That was their first Indiana Jones?
On the podcast.
No.
We've discussed.
Wait. That was your first Indiana Jones movie?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry from the community.
No, I know.
That's my fault. It's my fault.
And it is Ed's fault. I went because Ed said, Ed was a huge Indiana Jones fan at the point.
Ed, I was so excited when Kingdom Skull
and it was a
came
new
out, too.
movie.
It makes sense.
I had a T-shirt on.
I had a group of people who we went to the theaters. We were we were so hyped.
That was us too. You know what I mean? We were with friends. We were seeing the movie. Yada yada. Me personally, I was like, I don't really get it, and it sucks because obviously it was not a received movie. You know what I mean?
It didn't get it. You know what I mean? It didn't.
No. But it wasn't until a few years later, I mean, God, it was maybe like a year or two ago that I actually sat down and I watched the Indiana Jones movies for the first time, like 1 through 3. And my whole world changed. Those movies, and Ed knows me. Like, sometimes it's kind of tough for me to go back to an old classic. Yeah. Especially that's such a beloved franchise. I come in with like a lot of spite, immediately. But I really, really, really loved all 3 of those movies. And I guess maybe because my first instinct, was tainted by Kingdom of Crystal Skull. But I just feel like at that point when we saw that movie in 2000, whatever, Ed, what year? 8? That's what I thought. It was right after high school.
8? Damn.
Yeah.
He was already kind of too old in that movie, And I know Luis and I have kind of said this before too. Yeah. And a part of me is like, I don't think we need to do this new one.
I agree.
But then we talk about him fucking coming out at D23 or whatever and getting all emotional and choked up. You know what I mean?
You can't help but get excited.
Exactly. That's so unlike Harrison Ford.
So unlike him. I've never seen the man emotional for anything. He's usually like, Star Wars, give a fuck about that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I'm so used to that Harrison Ford that it's like, even if, it's been 2008. God, what, 12, 13, how many years? I don't know, math. From 2008 to now. You know what I mean? Almost 14. 15 years. Yeah. By the time the movie comes out, it'll be almost 15 years, you know?
Absolutely. He was looking old in The Force Awakens, It's
he died in that movie.
Show some respect. It's hard not to get swept away with it. Last week, Luis and I were talking about John Williams' new score, which sounded beautiful. He was clearly gushing over Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Everyone's gushing over Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Even Harrison
Miguel,
Ford.
Are you about to say I'm over Phoebe Waller-Bridge?
No. I wanted to say that I listened to that episode, and Luis did a really good job about playing the audio while y'all were talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Go back and listen to last week's episode.
Absolutely. Re-listen to every one of our episodes. I really understood what you guys were saying, listening to it was this kind of send-off. It's John Williams being like, I mean, let's be real, no matter what he wants to do with Bond or whatever next, maybe. Right. Fingers crossed, Ed. This is his last Indiana Jones movie. And judging by your conversation and the music that I was listening to, and Harrison Ford getting choked up as well. Yes. Okay, so this is a goodbye, a farewell to Indiana Jones. And, if the right people are involved and they're all emotionally on the line for it, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm here for it. Who cares? Who cares if the one with the aliens wasn't good? Let's go.
I wonder how they're going to retcon that. But either way, the way that he spoke out emotionally about Phoebe Waller-Bridge and the story and his reaction, I was just that is what turned my expectations for this movie, because I was not excited for this movie and I was skeptical. But for some reason, seeing that and the music and knowing that it's James Mangold directing it, a little bit of everything, it just finally came together. We're like, okay, now I'm on board to see this movie.
Yeah.
His reaction,
Is she going to be his daughter? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf had a sex change.
I don't know.
That's my question. That's literally my question. Shia LaBeouf, I don't know. That's my guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have
if I'm
no
wrong,
idea,
I'm wrong. I don't care.
Yeah, I have no idea where it's gonna go, to be honest. There's been some speculation that they're gonna use de-aging on Harrison Ford.
If they do, now's the time to do it. You know what I mean?
One of the highlights of that entire D23 was Ke-Huy Quan and Harrison Ford getting together backstage. Man, how great would it be if Ke-Huy Quan showed up?
Okay, that was my other prediction, is 100%. You know what I mean?
I would love that.
Something in my heart is telling me they wouldn't have... Okay, you can maybe play it off like they were in the same building promoting two different things. Okay, they're there. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
And they take a picture. You can absolutely play it off like that. But I could also see the internet blowing up in that moment, being like, "We love that they took that picture together." For someone to be like, "Hey, let's do a reshoot just real quick. Let's do like one little scene."
Man, I feel that's so
you know what I'm saying?
You're right. No, you're
I
right.
will break down in tears if that
Bro,
happened.
because the internet reacted so positively to that.
Yeah.
And he's also got like such a positive story right now, right? Like he came back to acting, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
I mean, why not put him? And especially if Harrison Ford, if this is like the goodbye to Indiana Jones in this sense, why not capitalize on this moment?
Right.
That's my prediction.
Okay. I believe that. I believe it. Indiana Jones, exciting time. And finally, part of Lucasfilm is Willow. We know that they have a TV series, that a new trailer that got dropped November 30th. There'll be 8 episodes, developed by Jonathan Kasdan, the son of Lawrence Kasdan. Obviously, he wrote Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. But Jonathan also did Freaks and Geeks, Solo, and early draft of Indiana Jones. It's cool. It looks exciting. Add to the fantasy world that we're living in with House of the Dragon and the Rings of Power. Man, every time I see what's it called? Oh my god. Looking it up. The shit. Who plays Willow?
I always want to say Warren Buffett. It's not
Warwick Davis.
Buffett.
I'm so sorry. Warwick Davis. The people, the internet yelling at us from their car.
Hey, good for them.
Warwick Davis, every time I see him on screen or like doing something, he is so charismatic and full of energy. I'm just like, I love this dude. And so every time I see him, it's making me love it more and more. Okay, folks, finally we are ending with Marvel. And you know, they're the main event here, and boy, they really delivered. And it's funny because,
oh my god.
We'll go
it's
through
so much news.
It's a lot. So we'll try to get this as quick as possible, and I will do my best. And but look, they really didn't reveal a lot of new information. What they did was gave more details to stuff that we know is coming out. I don't think that anything really new came out except for new information. I will say that. Yeah, nothing new came out. So it basically opened up with the live performance of Steve Rogers, I Can Do This All Day, from Hawkeye, from the musical. So they started off with a bang, a musical that I hopefully get to see one day, if they ever make it. They started with Wakanda Forever, and they showed a clip. We've all seen the trailer, and in this clip, we see Angela Bassett talking to the United Nations, saying that Black Panther is gone. We see Richard Schiff from West Wing as an American delegate saying, hey, man, or not man, because it's Angela Bassett, but hey, you know, Queen, with Black Panther gone, you know, we don't know what the security situation is going to be like, you know. And then a French delegate says, yeah, you know, vibranium can be used for weapons of mass destruction, and it can't be detected in metal detectors. So, you know, we're a bit concerned about how the state of Wakanda right now. And during this whole conversation about the concern of security and the state of Wakanda, there's a cutscene that's happening in between of what's it called? A raid scene where people are trying to steal vibranium in a boat. And as they're stealing vibranium, these scientists that they're kind of putting in hostage situations, they turn around and they're the Dora Milaje and they take down the soldiers. So there is this kind of raid action sequence happening while they're arguing about the security of Wakanda. And then the scene ends with like, oh, you're worried about our security? Bring them in. And the Dora Milaje brings in the soldiers who were trying to steal the vibranium. And she's like, we're going to be all right. Do you know what I'm saying? We're going to be all right. And then Ryan Coogler stayed on stage to introduce Ironheart. He's executive producing. We know that Ironheart is going to be in Wakanda Forever. So we transitioned to Ironheart. They showed a clip, and they had Jim Rash, who was from Community, obviously as the prince, as the what's it called? Who did he play in Community? The headmaster. You guys, you've seen Community.
I didn't
right?
watch it. Yeah.
He's like the principal. Or he's in Civil War.
He played the dean. He's like the dean. I'm the dean.
Yeah.
I'm the. So he's the dean.
He's the bald guy, right?
Yes, and he is in Civil War. He was the MIT guy that he talks to Tony Stark, and he's like, "Listen, if you're giving away money, I have a project you can give away money to." I love this thing when Marvel does where they bring small characters back and integrate them into other stuff, and it totally fits. So they're
it fleshes out the world a little bit.
Exactly. So to hear that Jim Rash, someone that I love to see, is coming back, it's like, yeah, it fleshes out the world a bit. In the scene, we have Jim Rash yelling at Riri Williams, who is the character of Ironheart, and yelling at her for her projects going overboard, saying, you're not the only student at MIT. Then something in her lab explodes. So cool to see Jim Rash in it again. Anthony Ramos, the guy who's in Alexander Hamilton in The Heights, he's gonna play a character called the Hood, who practices dark magic, and the whole premise of this show is a fight of tech versus magic. And we always have shows where it's magic versus magic, tech versus tech, but never the two. And yeah, Miguel, I see you want to say something.
No, I'm just looking at our notes. Like, we're talking about Black Panther. We're talking about Ironheart. We're talking about upcoming spoilers. Ant-Man. You know what I mean? Like, this is like a run of movies and shows that I definitely want to talk about. It's one of these things where I want to stay out of Black Panther as much as possible, but I really loved this breakdown of this scene. You know what I mean? It really gives ground for Angela Bassett's character to stand on. You know what I mean? Like, she is like kind of the leader of Wakanda in this transition. I loved, the scene that they break down. We've seen it in the trailer, and to give it just like a little bit more of color or whatever, you feel like, okay, I can kind of see the direction they're taking this movie. And I'm super excited. Ironheart is a character, like Iron Man is one of my favorite Marvel characters. And to see a character kind of like take up that mantle of Iron Man in their own way. Yeah. I'm super excited. And again, just to reiterate, I love when Marvel brings back these small characters and makes them big, which we're going to talk about later with Captain America, I think.
Exactly.
But, it just really gives... You know what I mean? That zhuzh to these the lore
it's the world
of Marvel.
Building. You know what I mean?
Yes,
it's the world building, and it's not
this. Thinking about I'm blanking on his name from Ant-Man, who was also in WandaVision.
Yes, he played the FBI agent, and he showed up.
God, what's his name? Like
Agent Wu.
No, is it Wu? I'm blanking on his name, but just the fact that these small characters that kind of, you roll your eyes at these like Marvel one-off jokey moments sometimes, but the fact that they bring them back and they give them weight, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm here for in this Marvel.
It's crazy. It's funny you mentioned Jimmy Woo, because in Ant-Man and the Wasp, he's always getting onto Paul Rudd's character. Scott Lang about close-up magic. He's like, "Oh, can you teach me a little close-up magic?" That plays, Ed, pay attention. That plays in WandaVision. That plays in WandaVision. He does close-up magic to steal something in that show, and just shows like, wow, this is really like they take.
There's levels to it. It's not just bits. Like, sometimes you feel like Taika Waititi's Thor. You're just improvising a lot of scenes, but then some other Marvel director will pick it up and go, let's use this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I like. It's like this whole yes-anding situation.
Yeah,
that happens.
No, and just a last little point. I'm so fucking excited for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, dude. Like, that is like the movie of the year for me. I cannot wait for this one, dude. I'm so hyped.
That trailer blew my mind, and
I watch it literally every day.
Yeah. We're gonna be all right. We have Ant-Man Quantumania. They showed the same clip as they did at Comic-Con, except it went a little further, and we see Kang telling Ant-Man that something was stolen from him and that only Ant-Man can steal it back. Ant-Man, obviously known as a heisty character. So now Kang is asking Scott Lang to heist something from him. Could it be a thing? Could it be a person? Who knows? Funny little tidbit here. The writer for this, Jeff Loveness, is actually going to write Kang Dynasty as well. So he's writing Kang here. He's going to write the Avengers, the Kang Dynasty movie. And, this writer made his prominence through Rick and Morty. And what's so funny is that Rick and Morty has brought so many writers into the Marvel world. Jessica Gao, the head writer for She-Hulk, comes from Rick and Morty. Michael Waldron, the guy who wrote Loki and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, comes from Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty does really good storytelling, even though it's really silly. So if you haven't seen Rick and Morty, watch Rick and Morty. He is going to be doing the Kang Dynasty. Werewolf by Night. Did you guys see this trailer?
No.
Guys, I shared you the trailer. I shared you the trailer to see it.
This should say, who's directing this movie, Luis?
Okay. Michael G is directing this movie. Giacchino? Is that his...
Giacchino? Is that the... Yo, I'm
the
so
composer?
sorry. Is that the composer from the Batman? That is, right?
Yes. No, yes, absolutely. I mean, he composed Star Trek. He composed Inside Out. He composed Spider-Man. He composed the Up. He composed the Marvel Fanfare. He composed a lot of stuff. And he came to the panel and he was saying, as a kid, I used to film all of these things. And I ended up composing music. Like, that's just where my life landed. But now I get to go back to direct things, and that was
to try this shit. Ooh.
To try it out, because that's what he did as a kid. And so it's like I get to finally live out things that I kind of wanted to do, and I fell into composing. So dope. And he was so great, but now he gets to do this thing. Werewolf by Night is a one-off Halloween special. If you didn't see the trailer, it's totally done in the style of an Ed Wood B-style like horror movie. School. Yeah, 1930s. Beware of the werewolf. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
It's very cool, and it's about people who lock themselves in a haunted house, and they have to figure out who is the werewolf. Ed, for people for getting us onto watching trailers, I can't believe you didn't watch this goddamn trailer.
It got lost. It got lost in the
sauce.
Sure, that one. The
lost in the sauce. Ed?
There was a lot of content.
Moving down the line of that groomsman line, I'll tell you that.
Bro.
No,
Jesus Christ.
You gotta know the lingo. There's too much dip on your chip.
Oh man, goddamn, those are good. We gotta make a list. This is a very cool thing. I'm excited. I wish I didn't know who the fucking werewolf was already, because it's a whole mystery. But whatever, it's fine. It looks like it's gonna be.
Does that spoil it in the trailer?
Well, I mean, if you don't know,
does it spoil it in the trailer?
I don't think it does, actually. Okay. Casting spoils it, and the announcement spoiled it, but the trailer didn't.
So I don't think it did. It's like I don't want to watch spoilers. So
it's a fun trailer.
That's why I avoided it.
So Werewolf by Night coming out October 7th. Halloween special. It's gonna be very cool. Let's move on to Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion, we were talking about new trailer drop. The trailer that basically was in more or less Comic-Con. Looks cool. It was like it reminds me of Winter Soldier vibe. I really like this tone that I feel like we've been missing a little bit from Marvel. It's something that I've been loving a lot. And we're kind of going back to it. There's a little bit of a paranoia situation happening. Olivia Colman's in it. Amelia Clark's in it.
And Kingsley Ben-Adir.
What's that?
Kingsley Ben-Adir.
Yes.
He played Malcolm X in One Night in Miami.
Yes.
He's really good. Anyway, I noticed he was in the trailer. This is actually the one thing that I did want to talk about. The trailer took me by surprise. I was not expecting a whole lot from this show. This is like one of those storylines where I feel like
Marvel is getting dangerously close to getting very convoluted, and it might still be in danger of that. But the trailer looks like a legit kind of like
clean.
political thriller.
Looks clean. Yeah.
Okay, did you guys was there a difference? I'm literally asking for myself, okay? Was there a difference in Sam Jackson at the beginning of that trailer to the end of that trailer? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a beard change where it's long and it's short, which could be just he shaved.
Right.
But, like, isn't the whole vibe, like, Secret Invasion is there's aliens? And,
there's definitely going to be...
They're like imposters.
Yeah. Who knows?
And is Sam Jackson, you know what I mean? Is Nick Fury
a Skrull? Well, Nick Fury was a Skrull in Spider-Man No Way Home.
That's right.
He was played...
Mendelsohn?
Yeah, he played it there in Spider-Man No Way Home. And a little... they tipped the flag a little bit because Fury's like, only call me Fury, only call me Fury. And in Spider-Man No Way Home, they called him Nick. And so they were like, oh, obviously it's not. But yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows who's a Skrull? That's the big question. Who's going to be a Skrull? Find out. Armor Wars, they follow that up. We know that's coming. Tech is Stolen. Loki Season 2. This is the first sequel. They cast Ke
Huy Quan.
Ke Huy Quan, obviously, from Everything Everywhere All at Once. He's going to play an archivist TVA. They played a clip of Loki in a creepy, empty room where he's glitching all around as if someone is messing with his reset device. He chisels away at a mural of the Timekeepers, and there's 3 giant faces of Kang. There's not Henry Cavill was also cast, but he wasn't on stage. Your boy Henry Cavill, Cavill. We had a first sequel with Loki Season 2. We also have a first spin-off, Echo. A really sweet moment. Everybody was cheering in ASL. Here for the show, kind of waving their hands, which is a nice moment. They had a first look, and then Wilson Fisk obviously is alive. He has eye bandages over him, and Echo is battling some tracksuits. After the presentation, Vincent D'Onofrio was saying on stage, and he's like, "Hey, are you going to talk about my show?" And then Charlie Cox says off stage, "You mean my show?" And then Charlie Cox walks in and they do a whole Daredevil presentation. Obviously, they haven't filmed it yet. There are going to be 18 episodes. So, Charlie Cox said, "Hey, why don't you show them a little bit of She-Hulk?" So they showed a clip from She-Hulk, and they have Jen with Daredevil on a rooftop debating about goons versus henchmen. Like, what defines a goon and what defines a henchman? So it's kind of like this fun back and forth. And spoiler alert, a little bit, 30 seconds in, there's some chemistry happening. Okay. There's a little bit of chemistry. I don't want to get too into it. I actually know what happens in the scene, but I don't want to reveal too much. I can if you want me to, but there's some chemistry happening. So watch out for that. Captain America New World Order. We were talking about characters that happened. Coming back. All right. And I love what they're doing here. Miguel, who's coming back?
Yo, it's Tim Blake. Straight up. Did you guys see Hulk?
Yes.
The Incredible Hulk?
Yeah.
In 2008? Tim Blake Nelson coming back as the leader.
What the hell? I love how they're they're figuring out all these loose ends. Do you know what I mean? Because that was a hella loose end. Where there were
the internet has been loving this shit. The fact that, we're bringing back in She-Hulk, Abomination came back. You know what I mean? We saw him previously, Tim Roth in Shang-Chi as well. And just the fact Thunderbolt Ross, you know what I mean? Talking about General Ross. They're bringing in a lot of these Incredible Hulk characters. And really trying to tell you, no, this movie was the MCU.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And Tim Blake Nelson, his character was helping Hulk in that movie, trying to figure out his gamma radiation or whatever. And then towards the third act, he gets a little bit of gamma radiation dripped in his brain. And people are like, this is a 14-year comeback. You know what I mean? He is.
It's amazing. I love that. If you're part of the family, you're in the family. It's
they should bring Edward Norton back.
and as a variant.
As a variant, bring it back. Whatever. Kang is here. Let's go.
Oh my! So we have Danny Ramirez returning. He'll probably play as the Falcon. Isaiah Bradley. He was also the other super soldier that was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Talking about his traumatic experience. I know Ed was very impacted by that storyline. And this movie is going to deal with conspiracy theories. Fight against misinformation. There you go. Fantastic Four, not much news on the casting, but a director was named, Matt Shakman, who was the director of WandaVision. Also, do you know what else he directed, guys?
Nope.
No, he didn't direct Nope, but he did direct some episodes of Game of Thrones. He did direct some episodes of The Great.
Any good ones?
He directed. Let's see. Let me see the. I'm looking. Where is it? 6 Feet Under. Wow, he did that too. That's pretty cool. Where can I find? Okay, well, I can't find Game of Thrones one here for some reason.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Maybe he just. Yeah, I don't know where it is. Now I really want to know. Where is it? When did he did Eastwatch and the Spoils of War. Do you know what that means?
Ooh. I assume Eastwatch might have been the episode where the wall came down.
Season 7, episode 5, Daenerys demands loyalty from the surviving Lannister soldiers. And then he did...
So he came at the end.
Damn, if I was right, though, that shit's like, I'm a Game of Thrones for him.
And then Spoils of War, season 7, episode 4. Daenerys takes matters into her own hands. Arya reaches her destination. Jaime and Bronn collect the spoils from the war with Tyrells. Anyway, so he's directing Fantastic Four. And then the Thunderbolts cast got confirmed. Okay. I don't know how the internet feels. I'm very excited about this because we're bringing in characters that, like, again, I didn't know where we were going to go. Yeah.
Bring them back.
Dude, okay, so here we go. We got Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, or Val. She's coming back. Ed loves that. And David Harbour as the Red Guardian. Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Why am I getting picked on?
I can see you shaking your head.
I'm just reading my notes.
Oh, okay. Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp. I actually was super curious about this because I had no idea what was going to happen with Ghost with that character. I thought she was a one and done, but obviously they had so much, and to bring her back into this, I was like, wow, it's really nice to just feel like she has some relevance into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I was really pleased to see that. John Walker, Taskmaster, Yelena, and the Winter Soldier. That is the Thunderbolts. I think there are more might pop up, but that is like was presented.
As far as like Marvel's Suicide Squad goes, like this is a really great start, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters. They basically picked like characters that were fun from franchises that you don't necessarily gravitate to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is a great start.
I mean, I think it's going to be a lot of like quirky, whippy, snappy dialogue between like all these people, like between David Harbour and Winter Soldier. All these people who kind of like ego issues going at each other.
Yelena.
But Thunderbolts happen. Thunderbolts is the end. Thunderbolts is the end of the of one of the phases, and then it'll go into Fantastic Four. I feel like they're just gonna like fail, and then we go into Fantastic Four and Avengers, and they have to like do things. And then finally, we're going to wrap this up with the Marvels. They had a trailer, and they had Carol Danvers, Monica Rambeau, and Kamala Khan. If you saw Miss Marvel, I'm sorry, spoilers alert here. It's been a while. Miss Marvel, at the end of Miss Marvel, what's it called? Kamala Khan leaves her room and immediately gets swapped out with Ed.
Brie Larson.
That's right, Carol Danvers. And
I couldn't remember her name.
Yeah, Carol Danvers, Brie Larson. So out of nowhere, she just swaps places. We don't really know why that happens, but in this trailer, it explains the ending of Miss Marvel. Basically, we cut to the Beastie Boys Intergalactic song. And Kamala Khan does not swap places with Carol Danvers, but in fact, all three swap places. Monica Rambeau is floating outside of a space station, probably right where Nick Fury is. She floats towards a glowing blue energy field. And when she sees it and touches it, boom, everything swaps around.
Good time.
And Kamala Khan is now in the spacesuit and sees Nick Fury and says, hey, Nick Fury, can I be part of the Avengers? So she's kind of like fanning out. Monica Rambeau swaps with Carol Danvers and ends up in a moon with Kree warriors. And Carol Danvers is where Kamala Khan was. We see the other Marvels meeting the Khans. There's a good time. And then we see Kamala Khan meeting the Flurgan, the cat, devouring a thing. So that's pretty much what happened at the Marvel D23. And then there was also an Avatar screening in 3D that they showed to people. I texted somebody and I was like, "Hey, what was that like?" And what did they say to me? Hold on. They said,
Meh.
Is it my guy?
It says, your guy and somebody else. Yeah, it says it looks incredible and the 3D was amazing. Not your guy, but his friend. It looks incredible. The 3D was amazing. The story seems like a bit of a downer from what we saw. So I guess things get kind of serious and dramatic. But yeah, Avatar coming out. Whew. Any last thoughts on D23 boys?
So ready to move on. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, you know what? That was D23. We have more winners. We all won the internet this week, but more people won, and that's TV winners. Ed, why don't you tell me some of the drama winners for the Emmys this year, the 74th anniversary?
74th anniversary. All right.
Yes, the 74th.
Best drama show went to Succession, of course. Best actor, Lee Jung-jae from Squid Game. Actress Zendaya from Euphoria. Matthew McFadden for Succession and supporting actor. Supporting actress went to Julia Garner in Ozark. Writing went to Jesse Armstrong for Succession, of course. And directing went to Hwang Donnie Hyuk of Squid Game. What?
I was a misspell on my part. Hwang Dong
You
Hyuk.
fuck.
Yeah.
No, I sound like an idiot.
makes Ed look like an asshole.
Just like spouting off words here. All right. So that was it for drama. I'm glad Succession
Shout out to Succession, just real quick. Luis, don't fuck around, okay?
I know. When the next season comes, when I hear it, when I see a trailer, that's when I'll start watching.
I mean, get on it because you want to be ready to go. All right, it was a good show.
You want to watch it a couple of times, you know what I mean?
Couple of times.
A lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff.
All right. Well, that stuff's pretty dramatic, but I'm feeling like I need a couple laughs, a couple guffaws. Anyone can help me out with that?
You came to the wrong person, Luis. It's me, Miguel. We're here to talk about the comedy wins. I don't know if it's best show. Is that what it is? Best in show. Ted Lasso. You guys, you knew this was coming. Ted Lasso is the hit. All right, everyone loves this. Jason Sudeikis also won Best Actor in a Comedy Show. Shout out to my girl Jean Smart from Hacks. I've not actually seen season 2, but season 1 of Hacks was a joy to watch. So shout out to her. One of my earliest memories of movies was Homeward Bound. Do you guys remember that movie?
Yeah.
And Jean Smart is in that movie. Okay, that's one of my earliest. She's like the neighbor or whatever who was like supposed to watch the animals, and then they get out and you know what I mean. They go on the Homeward Bound. Yeah, you know what I mean. So Jean Smart has been in my life for about 30 years. Shout out to the hilarious supporting actor Brett Goldstein. You guys, Ted Lasso just cannot stop.
Do you know what's funny? Is he wrote that character and he was like, you know what? He's a writer, and he's like, no one could do it like me. and he
kind of like Socks from Buzz Lightyear, right? Like he's the director, but he's also goddamn hilarious.
someone else. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, let's get serious for a second because this is one of Miguel's favorite shows. Okay. Shout out to, in the comedy category, Best Supporting Actress, Cheryl Lee Ralph from Abbott Elementary. You guys,
Whoop, whoop.
are you watching this show? Yes or no?
Not yet.
Luis.
I've seen some episodes. I haven't seen all, because Sarah
You
watched it
guys-
and then I glanced over. And
Guys.
I've been watching. You know what? That sounds like an easy watch. I could get behind.
Okay, not only is it easy, you know what I mean? It's like a really quick 30-minute, 20 minutes on Hulu, no ads. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, I'm living that no ads life.
It's on HBO Max right now.
Wait,
Okay?
what?
Yeah. Dude, fuck yes. It's on HBO
Whoa.
Max.
It
Jump
is.
on that shit and you can
That's
watch
crazy.
it. Bro, if you love 30-minute sitcoms, Abbott Elementary absolutely should be one of your favorites. I everyone always is acting like, oh, Miguel fucking loves Abbott Elementary. People fucking love this show. You guys should as well, okay? Cheryl Lee Ralph was one of the best characters on this show, and I'm going to be very respectful. She's so amazing. She absolutely deserved this Emmy win, but the entire cast is so engaging and so fun to watch. You're missing out if you're not watching it. Shout out to for writing Quinta Brunson. She's the creator and writer of the show Abbott Elementary. She's also the lead star. I don't believe she won an acting Emmy for this show, but she did win a creative Emmy. A little bit of controversy. She came out to accept her award, and Jimmy Kimmel had presented her with the award and then did some sort of comedy bit where he played dead during the entire acceptance
really?
speech, and he laid at her feet the entire time, pretending to be quote unquote dead while she accepted this Emmy. A lot of people were upset about this, and I kind of understand why. This is her very first Emmy. It's her very first, Hollywood recognition.
Yeah, it could be very nerve-wracking to go up there for the
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this earlier.
What's the context of the joke? I don't get it.
The joke I actually didn't even see. You know what I mean? It was whatever his bit was. Jimmy Kimmel, the punchline was he died or was dead, and he laid down on the stage and didn't move until commercial break or something. And a lot of people were upset because, again, it was like her very first Emmy Hollywood recognition, and she's having to kind of like step over this white man who's like kind of downplaying her win. I was thinking about it earlier, and it was, we all remember like Kanye West like jumping on stage at when Taylor Swift won that Grammy. Beyonce had the best album of the year. You guys remember this pop culture moment, you know? This is kind of the reverse. You know what I mean? She had to kind of come out there and have this like upstaging event, but it wasn't like, the world stopped. Everyone made Kanye West feel like an asshole in that moment. Beyonce had Taylor Swift come out and give her speech again during Beyonce's win later that night. And here, Quinta Brunson was kind of forced to just show must go on and give her acceptance speech. And I totally understand why that was upsetting to a lot of people. This is one of the best shows on television right now. It's definitely going to be a pop culture, moment. And she deserved a little bit more than just, some bit. And unfortunately for her, there wasn't a Beyonce that night that could bring her back out and really give her her moment to shine.
So I'm looking on Hollywood Reporter because I wanted to know a little bit. Apparently, Quinta Brunson went to Jimmy Kimmel, and they talked about this controversy like with each other. And
this is fair.
And he apologized, and we had Quinta Brunson took some time out of Jimmy's monologue to finish her acceptance speech.
Okay. So I'll take a step back. That's good that he like allowed that moment. Not he allowed. You know what I mean?
Right. He
gave up time You know what I mean? For her,
He
to come out.
acknowledged what happened, and he respectfully tried to do what he could to kind of, fix
Or he
it.
made it into another shtick. Or
Well,
something.
Which could be worse. I bet that. But all I'm saying is, you guys know I fucking love this show, Abbott Elementary. And not only am I so happy for all these wins, I do feel this kind of, you know what I mean, sadness that she wasn't given her moment, because like clearly this is like Quinta's time to shine, much like Issa Rae in Insecure, like when she was really given that moment to grow that show into the cultural icon that it was. Quinta should be given that moment as well. Yeah, I don't know.
And then,
watch it. You can watch it on HBO Max.
You got one more category.
yeah, one more
Miguel.
category.
Oh shit! I'm so sorry. It was such a big deal. Shout out to again Ted Lasso, just straight up killing the game. Directing. Do you guys know this? Best Emmy for directing. MJ Delaney.
Hell yeah!
Ted
shout out.
Lasso directed quite a few of the hits. So
That's a great show.
shout out to MJ. I apologize that I'm not as emotionally impactful to Ted Lasso. Okay.
The Emmys are funny because we have drama, we have comedy, but they also have a funny category, limited series. They have their own category here, which is funny because anyway. Basically, the winner was The White Lotus. The White Lotus kind of like sweeped everything except for two categories. They won Best Show. They won Best Supporting Actor with Mary Bartlett. They won Best Supporting Actress with Jennifer Coolidge. They won Best Writing by Mike White. And Best Directing also by Mike White. You might know Mike White from School of Rock. He was the roommate to Jack Black. And then the actor Michael Keaton, Batman, won for Dope Sick. And then Amanda Seyfried
As Batman. That was
as
his role in
Batman.
Dope Sick.
Amanda Seyfried won as Best Actress for Dropout. And then
Loved
a
her.
couple random wins for Best Variety Talk Show was Last Week Tonight featuring John Oliver. Best Competition was Lizzo, Watch Out for the Big Girls.
Have you guys
And-
watched that one?
No, I didn't
Not
know
yet. Is it good?
Lizzo? It's not my kind of show, you know what I mean?
It's for big girls. Is that what you're saying?
No, not at all. I was just like, Sarah was watching it, and I ended up watching like the last couple of episodes with her. It's like a competition show.
What are they competing for?
They're as her backup dancers.
Oh, okay.
on stage.
Got it.
And it's a lot of like incredibly talented women who are getting an opportunity
Yeah.
where they in an industry where they wouldn't otherwise have an opportunity. So to that extent, it's great. It's just I don't watch those like reality competition shows or whatever. So
Yeah,
I
it
love
won. It won a lot of when we did the Creative Emmy Award winners last week. It also won a lot of Creative Emmy Awards as well. So it's interesting. I guess. Yeah, I mean, this has got to be a good show. And then TV movie, Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers. They won.
Chip and Dale.
And yeah,
Cool.
I mean that's our feature discussion. Obviously, D23 and Emmys. There's a lot to talk about, but if you're fans, you're nerds. Like we're nerds, we have to talk about it. We just have to talk about it. But that's it. And now we're gonna wrap it up with our third act. What's our third act?
What we're into.
Ah, da da
What
da
are
da da da.
Ba-da-ba. Da-da-ba.
All right, whose turn is it?
Miguel.
Okay. I'll be very quick. I feel like I'm always trying to rush through this moment because I'm not trying to keep you guys. I know it's late. But very quickly, Ed, do you feel the same way? Luis is like an hour behind me, and that's like 2 hours behind you. Okay, so very quickly, I just want to touch on this. I'm watching Mad Men. I feel like I talk about this every single time we come to what we're into, but that's because that's what I'm watching. Yeah. I'm in the middle of season 5, or just beginning season 5. I finished season 4 very recently. You guys have watched Mad Men, yes or no?
Yes, but not that far. I stopped at season 3.
Okay, I will say this, Luis. Okay. Mad Men definitely is getting to a point at the season 5 opening where I feel like we're dipping a little bit. Okay. All right. Okay. It's not, it doesn't help that I'm watching Mad Men on Freevee, which is an Amazon program.
The hell is Freevee?
Where you can watch the show with ads. I first off love it because I'm watching Mad Men. You know what I mean? And it's like Don Draper would want me to watch the show with ads. But in between season 5 episodes, they're introducing ads for Progressive, where John Hamm is acting in ads with Flo. Flo was also in like season 1 of Mad Men. John Hamm was also in Mad Men. John Hamm very respectfully has aged, again, very respectfully. And it's jarring when you go from like Mad Men, where he's like, Betty, Bets, the kids. You know what I mean?
Honestly, to me,
being like Flo.
I mean, he still looks great, right? I mean,
you guys, I appreciate your love for John Hamm. I love John Hamm. Let me send you. Let me send you this link to this Progressive commercial, and you guys can tell me what you guys think about fucking Donald Draper. Okay.
The voice of the Mercedes or the BMW guy.
You wish that's where he was. In these Progressive ads. I will say this. I hung out with our dear friend Josh Brown a few weeks ago. He came to Colorado, met me for a quick drink, and he was telling me that
he met you for a quick drink. What does that mean? He just came to Colorado for one quick drink and then left, or what?
That's the kind of friends I have. Who are you friends with? Okay.
I'll fly up for a quick drink and then leave.
You know, you owe us a quick Colorado trip.
I do.
Louis.
I know. I do.
Come on up.
I said a date, and then we just didn't follow through. But
no, I'm sorry. I apologize. That's my bad. That's my bad. Anyway,
it's a collection.
Joshua Nathan Brown on Instagram. He did tell me that Mad Men dipped, and I wish he hadn't told me this because now I feel like my brain is like automatically. You know what I mean? Putting it into that sense. But season 5 has definitely taken a dip. Like they feel like caricatures of themselves. Okay. Yeah, and that's kind of my concern. There's like 3 more seasons left. Yada.
3 more seasons? Holy fuck.
I got real tired of Don Draper, to be honest.
I mean, at this point, and again, so much respect to John Hamm. It just feels like Don Draper has like 2 or 3 like go-to emotions. You know what I mean? And he's always like, or and you're like, okay, all right, thank you, Don. I appreciate your fucking feedback right now. Is Peggy like almost you? Okay, here we go.
He's just so smug.
But it's not even done. I mean, it really feels like every single character has become, like I said, characters of themselves. I'm a little concerned, but I've already committed. So I'm going to watch 5, 6, and 7. Let's go. The very last thing I want to talk about, video game. Have you guys ever heard about this game? It's a Hideo Kojima game.
Oh, yeah.
Death Stranding.
I've heard of it. I haven't played it, but I've heard of it. Is it good? What are your thoughts?
Ed, you've never seen this game?
No,
I needed a verbal cue. Okay,
sorry.
So Death Stranding.
Tell me more.
Death Stranding is a game that came out for the PS4 a couple of years ago. The whole big vibe of it was the fact that like you started this character, and a lot of the complaints was that it was like a walking simulator. You're like this courier where you deliver packages in this like post-apocalyptic world, and but the only way you deliver them is like via walking. You're like walking these packages to their destinations until the world opens up and becomes this like the connected internet database, whatever, where all of a sudden, like, I'm playing on my system, Luis could be playing on his system, Ed could be playing on his system, and we're all kind of like contributing to the same world. I'm not there yet. I'm only like 3 hours into the game where he's still walking, and it's very, very boring. I'm super bored, but I'm going to commit because I hear that you got to play like 10 plus hours before you like really like experience the game.
That's a lot. That's like what
I
people say
will
about
say this:
Elden
the
Ring.
Death Stranding in general is there's like some demon shit. It's like in the future where like when you die, you become this like demon. There's you
you go to like to another like negative world or something. That you kinda
certain
have to fight
characters
out.
like walk the line between life and death, and
Right.
they can like be in both worlds. It stars Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. Ed, I'm always telling you to play a video game.
Yes.
100%, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about this. You would hate this game. Okay?
Do not.
Okay,
play
so
this
don't
game.
play this game.
Do not play this game, Ed. Okay?
Alright. Noted.
And you guys, thank you for having
Gladly.
me back. I'm sorry I was gone last week. I was on a work retreat, okay? So I wrote a segue. I don't know if I told you guys this.
No, how was that?
Oh, it was great. I went through the Garden of the Gods in Colorado. Do you guys know?
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. Luis, do you ever come to Colorado? I'll take you there, okay?
I want to go to the Garden
So
of
you
Gods
can't
on the
take me
Segway
there,
too.
but you'll take Luis there? What the fuck?
That's
well,
right.
I had never been when you came, Ed, but now I have. So now I have a place to go, okay? Gardens of the Gods, I wrote a segue. I was over the weight limit. Shout out. They still let me on, and I did great. I didn't fall off, not once.
Hell
okay?
yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell
Was
yeah.
that, I don't know. I feel like I would just fall flat on my face on those things.
I thought you were about to guess my weight, to be honest, and I was like, all right, you want to do it? Let's fucking go. I got the new
right.
podcast mic. I'm ready.
No, I just, I don't have, like, great balance, I feel like, so...
I didn't fall off, and it was tricky. It was tricky at first, but you pick
You
it
gotta
up.
get used
Anyway,
to it, huh? Yeah.
thank you guys. I know it's long. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. That's all from our guest, Miguel Sanchez. Thanks for
I'll be
joining us,
back
Miguel.
next week. Next
Yeah,
week
we'll
I will
be-
join you again.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, I'll keep mine quickly. I did have like a back-to-back written rant that I have about the Rings of Power.
I mean,
But
fuck it. Let's chat for an hour and a half. Don't go to work tomorrow.
It's,
Call in
it's
sick.
running late, so I'm just gonna skip through this. I've been getting back into books. You guys remember books? You read? Miguel lost his headphones. Anyway, so yeah, I've been reading a favorite trilogy of mine. It's called based on Alexander the Great. It's called Alexander. Well, it's 3 volumes. I'm on the 2nd volume right now. I'm about to finish it. It was written by Valerio Massimo Manfredi back in like the early 2000s, late 90s. Anyway, it's really great books, and like, you know, you got all this Game of Thrones, Rings of Powers, and shit like this. I really, really would love it if a studio would pick up Alexander for a short series, because I think there's so much content there.
Amazon? You think?
Amazon? Hey, Amazon.
Huh?
You got the money. Anyway, so I'm reading the first volume's called Child of a Dream. The second is Sands of Ammon, follows his conquest into Persia, and then ultimately into the rest of Asia, like India and stuff. And anyway, it's really, really good story. It's like historical fiction. I'm on episode 4 of House of Dragon. You guys watched it yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
So-
watching this more than Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I figured.
Ugh.
How am I supposed to take that, Miguel? As a good thing?
I don't mean badly. I just mean that's
I'm
the one
watching
I'm.
this Marvin House. Anyway, so the opening of this episode had like one of my favorite bits of the season so far.
It was
and
a
then
good one.
the rest of the episode just made me feel uncomfortable and wondering why we're even this show so far has had some really weird pacing. Like, we've had some big time jumps. I'm not going to go into huge
I like
detail.
the time jumps. To be
I
honest,
like time. I don't mind time jumps,
Ow.
but the moments in time that they want to focus on is random to me.
It's her coming of age. She's about to turn 18. I feel like that's a perfect time to
I
like.
get that.
to
But
jump.
No, I'm ready to jump. Let's jump. I'm ready to jump forward. I thought this episode was super awkward. I'm not like a prude or anything, but I was so uncomfortable. This
I
entire
don't think you have
last
to be a
episode.
prude to not like be turned on by this like lusciously shot like journey through a whorehouse to where an uncle can sleep with or fuck around with his niece.
Yeah, and
It's
it
very
went
graphic.
and it went on too long.
Yeah.
You know,
what, though?
I appreciate the story,
All the
but let's move
while,
forward.
all the while, people are getting pissy about black elves and dwarves and mermaids, but they're like, "Yeah, let's get these ultra blonde
Incest.
white people fucking each
It
other."
felt like eyes wide shut like pacing situation. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
That is it, with the pacing and with that is what it was like transmitting. I don't know.
Yeah,
It was.
I
it
just
was a lot,
didn't see from the previous episode to this episode. I didn't see what the point was of the battle of the stepping stones. I guess I'm waiting for the bigger picture to unfold. I'm not. It's not like I hate it. But it's just I'm not like utterly taken with it just yet.
I'll
or-
tell you what.
don't know.
Episode 3 brought me in. I complained about episode 1 and 2. Episode 3 and 4, I'm in now.
Episode 3,
I said wait.
disappointing.
I said wait till I'll wait to see if I'm on board. And you know what? Now I'm on
All
board.
right, well, good.
I like the little.
and I'm
I
not
like
saying-
the internal family drama that's happening
Yeah.
with roles
Yeah.
and positions.
No,
and,
there's a
you know,
lot of internal family drama.
ooh, but I'm shish. But I'm shish.
I'm gonna keep watching it. Obviously, like it's a weekly must. But it's
They're
just
saying
like,
there's only
what
there's only one more episode where these characters are going to be there, and then they're going to do the big
Time
time
jump.
jump.
No,
Yeah. I mean, we're still gonna have Matt Smith and Paddy Considine, or maybe not. Paddy might.
I
die.
don't know. They're saying he's about to die.
Yeah. Well, he is rotting.
I am like liking this characters. These characters, we're gonna lose them.
Yeah. Yeah. That kid who murdered that guy in the hall with the sword after he called him a cunt.
Oh yes,
man.
that was
That was the best moment.
That's a good bit
I was in.
because
I was laughing
Oh,
so
man.
hard. That was excellent.
you think that, you know what I mean, this like dweeby kid is going to get his comeuppance.
Yeah.
And,
He stabs it. He murders a guy,
Oh,
and they cut back to him, and he coughs up a bunch of blood. It was brilliant. What a great scene.
that's a good moment.
Yeah. So
I'm liking the dialogue more in the last couple episodes too. I feel like compared to 1 and 2, I'm just liking how intimate they feel in this one. And I don't know much about
Very
Game of
moment.
Thrones, but
I think Paddy
I'm learning
Considine-
as it's going.
Paddy Considine is kind of like the show. Like he's the one who's doing it for me right now.
He's about to. He's
He's
be
clearly
gone.
not doing it for Alison Hightower. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's a bit late in the night.
But that's
Like,
okay, yo. That's the thing I'm saying. Is after this kind of like uncomfortable, you know what I mean, uncle nephew niece scene. You know what I mean. They immediately jump right into Paddy Considine being like, "I'm gonna have sex with whoever I want." It's too much. Okay, I
But
felt uncomfortable.
it does show sex in different ways of like where the uncle was doing it for power. Paddy
Sure.
Considine was because probably depression. And then
and it's showing like
and Rhaenyra was doing it because she finally like was awakened
they're
to
showing
it.
the impotence of Damon. Like he clearly gets off of being in control and stuff like that, especially when it comes to the person who's potentially taking the throne away from him.
But when she was
and
into
so-
it, he was like, "I'm not into it anymore."
Yeah, exactly. But that, like, to Miguel's point, is just like a little too indulgent. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, so
But
long.
as indulgent, it can be with like the fucking birth scene or the fucking other violent scenes that happen. Like it just
I felt like the
I-
birth scene was over in a heartbeat. This
I
birth
didn't-
scene,
I couldn't even
That's
watch.
what I'm saying.
Like it's just leaning hard. First we're doing violent, and then we're doing sexual. It's doing both of them equally, I think.
So again, that was my big takeaway. Was like, I understand that we're telling the story or whatever, but just like as an audience member, I did feel very exhausted by the end of that episode. I was like, let's wrap it up. You know, I'm much more into like the lore of the land, the politics of the land, kind of a la Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
but it doesn't necessarily need to be.
That's a huge part of that like group or family, isn't it? The Targaryen,
yeah, it's incest,
but I mean, again, like touch on that aspect without. I mean, that was like a 20-minute long scene, you know.
I did
when is it going to end?
I did like the follow-up scene with
maybe that's the feeling they were going for.
Rhaenyra, and it does the whole. I get the point that it shows Rhaenyra in this light of like she's not totally innocent in any of this, and she is kind of. She takes after her uncle in many ways. Like, she's a fighter. She wants her independence, you know, and she wants to enjoy those things in life. And it's, like, shown immediately in the next scene when she gets her Kingsguard into the room.
Yeah.
I forget his name. But Mr. Handsome a lot. You know, that was a great scene. I thought, like, it was like a good power play for her. Just like, I mean, you could do your job, but I am your boss, so you better come. Fucky. And I don't know. It's just like I guess overall, it's the pacing. Everything in Game of Thrones was in real time, for the most part. So it's taking me, I don't know. I guess I really won't know until the end of this season and we see the bigger picture, basically, and seeing where it's going on the whole. It has some exciting prospects. I think them hyping up the dragons was not that I need like tons of dragons, because Game of Thrones is all about the politics and the backstabbing. I did think it was interesting how Rhaenyra got her father to get rid of his hand, king's hand. I mean, Otto Hightower. That was a cool moment.
That was a cool moment. It's things like I really
and like I
enjoyed.
said, Paddy Considine is kind of killing it. He plays that role very well. Interesting prospects. I'm just kind of like middling level. I don't think like my feelings towards the show have moved up or down since last week. And
I will say, like, I think episode 1 and 2 was setting up like the fantastical epicness of it, but these last couple episodes have been so intimate that they haven't required a lot of VFX, and so a lot of the shots look a lot prettier. And I've been liking that a lot more. Where it's like, oh yeah, it looks cool.
Like Flea Bottom was cool, like going through the city and stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't like episode 3 because I hate convenient action, like just like that whole
where he was getting all those arrows, like
I mean, I'm sorry, that was just bullshit. Apparently they've been fighting that war for a couple of years at that point, and they win it because he starts running across really fast.
Well, wasn't that the plan? They had to get somebody to sacrifice themselves. Well,
they had to pull them out, but like really, like it happened in that moment after years. It's the same shit. Like, no, that's just convenient action set piecing, and then we're just like all this build up to this character, the crab feeder, and he's dead in an instant.
Side question: he touched his hand. Is that going to be bad?
He touched him, bro. I was just about to say,
is that bad?
It should be. So I'm really curious as to what's going on with that.
And he's been fucking.
And
so,
if King Viser, what's his name? Rhaenyra? No.
Rhaenyra?
Varys? No. The king. If he had grayscale, it would have taken over by now.
He's not. Now, you're a step behind me, Ed. I've already responded to Damon Targaryen on YouTube, where I told him My bad. Okay, you're absolutely right, Ed. Like by now, Grayscale would have taken the
Hey,
king.
no, I thought it was grayscale too. Absolutely.
I was wrong.
Yeah. So
And
clearly
that's why
he's just,
you commenting at Punch Drunk Nerd on YouTube comments is beneficial. See, we have a
I mean,
conversation.
keep commenting at Punch Drunk Nerd.
Yeah. What else are you watching?
But I'm not gonna get. I'm gonna save my Rings of Power rant for later. I'm
Okay.
too exhausted. I'm too riled up about House of Dragon now. But
Well,
like.
We're
Yeah,
gonna talk
I'll
more
about
House
the
of the
Rings of
Dragon.
Power
We'll
after
talk
this
Rings of Power
episode.
next week. We'll talk more House of the Dragon next week.
Yeah. Maybe you guys could catch up on the Rings of.
I'm caught up, baby.
I'm behind. I'm behind.
Oh, let me say this real quick. Let's decide this here and now. Let's settle the bet. I'm going to give you guys the option of seeing Babylon in theaters
Well, I'm gonna see that
or
anyway.
watching the entirety of You say that. Watching the entirety of Rings of Power.
Rings of Power, 100%. I choose Rings.
But I want you to watch it as it's coming out.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm on top of it. I mean, that either way is fine. I'm already up to Rings of Power. I already got my ticket for Babylon. I'm ready.
Whatever.
You got your ticket to Babylon?
I'm just kidding. I just
Who do you
wanted to piss
know?
off. Mr. AMC Cunningworth. So what I've been into, I was really stuck in a lot of work, to be honest. What is this? Okay. I was.
What did I watch?
I was really working a lot editing, and I wasn't able to play video games. But now I finally finished Stray, which was a lot of fun. It was a lot of it was more puzzly, and I know I complained about not being able to jump anywhere I wanted to. But as the game continued, I was kind of okay with that because you did have to kind of jump at certain places. It was part of the whole puzzle piece. I had a great time with it.
Oh man.
Stray, but then I also was like, okay, now I get to play God of War. I played God of War. I think I was like like halfway through.
Where are you?
And then I was like, fuck it, and I finished the whole fucking thing.
Fuck yes!
Yeah, no, I found the will to finish it. I was just like, I spent like 4 hours here, 6 hours,
man.
3 hours there, another 2 hours here, and man,
Ooh.
I mean. Can I tell you? Okay, so obviously this game came out a while ago, but no spoilers. I didn't get to the point. I just had the Leviathan axe, and then the son got sick, and then he was like, "I have to go to the house," and he pulls out these blades.
Yes, he fucking does.
I don't even know
Miguel.
the previous games. I don't know the previous game, but when he pulled it out, I was like, "Oh, this is epic. This has history. This is a moment." And I love how. I didn't know anything about this previous series, but that was a great way to bring me in and to tie in that series without really pulling me down with all of like a recap. I understood
the
it.
whole lore or whatever.
I understood the emotional weight, and I did end up going on YouTube to learn a little bit more about his history, and it does. Wow, I mean, in God of War 2018, he is a chiller dude compared to what he was earlier on.
Yes.
In Sparta, and he's like really gone through therapy and kind of found himself. And
bro, and the fact that like he's wearing these like bandages on his arm this entire game,
I didn't realize
and then
that.
you realize like what's going on, and that's what's so great about God of War 2018 is you didn't have to have played those other games. To understand the weight of what's going on in that moment, dude.
And
it's such a good game.
I was so afraid because it's been a while since I played. And there were so many different movesets and different ways to fight that I was afraid I wouldn't be able to pick it back up again and that I would have to start over. I didn't want to, so I just jumped back in and I picked it up pretty well. And then they introduced the blades and I was like, fuck, another thing I have to kind of figure out. But after a while, I was like, okay, no, there are some like standard movesets. Like all around, I could run and then do a mega attack with the Leviathan, with the blades, and just with a punch. And so I was like, okay. I feel like there are similarities between each one that I can kind of do the same moveset. But I enjoyed swapping between the two.
Luis, I have two quick questions. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to step over your thing.
No.
One, how did you feel about the witch storyline towards the end of the game?
I mean,
I was trying not to forecast this shit, dude. Like,
I mean, it's an interesting thing, right? She's a mom who loves her son, but her son
is the bad guy.
And I don't know, man. I mean, you're stuck between a hard rock and a what? A tough place?
A place.
And a what? A rock and a hard place.
Bro,
but that's what I mean.
All the way at the beginning when I told you the turtle house or whatever, you know what I mean? Where they go into the witch's home for the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, that was all I was thinking about was just like the whole witch's storyline from she's so friendly in the beginning.
Yes.
Into the reason why she's so negative by the end is so believable. And they're already saying she's going to be like one of the like early bad guys in the
like
the next game.
Seeing the trailer, you know, like she's coming back. She's like, I'm going to fucking
She's coming
kill you.
back, dude.
And it makes sense.
It was such a good, storyline wise, one of my favorites.
I was gripped. I was like, as what's his name? Balin, the bad guy.
I had to think about it. Yeah.
When he was killing her and choking her out to death, I was like gripped. I was like, holy shit, I can't believe she's just letting him kill her. And, Kratos obviously had this trauma where he killed his dad. And he knows that his son saw him kill his dad beautifully. I love how they went to hell, and then we got to see those memories play out when he was there. And he's dealing with that trauma. And so he's like, I don't want this to continue on because of my boy, because it's not right, being a god. And the mom is
and the fact
like letting
that
it
his
happen.
kid is such an asshole in the second half of this game.
Dude, that annoyed the shit out of me. How annoying he was.
It was so purposeful.
Why was he such I was confused. He was an asshole and then he stopped being an asshole. Why? I don't understand what happened there.
Because you know what I mean, they have that like realization together where like they both need each other for certain aspects of either of their lives. You know what I mean? Like Kratos is the dad in this moment because he's experienced life, and Atreus is this kid who sees life and understands like where life needs to go, but he doesn't have the wisdom or the experience yet.
Right. He was
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and they both have to come together. And then Atreus is not only the son of the god of war, Kratos, but he's also the son of Kratos' mom. Oh God, not mom. Wife.
Kratos' wife. Yeah.
Who is like a giant. You know what I mean?
Giant.
She's yes. So there's like this whole low key aspect. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's the second thing I wanted to bring up, Luis. How did you feel about? Did you get to the post credit scene?
Okay, so it's so funny you mentioned that because I did get spoiled when I was editing one of the episodes that Thor was going to show up. So, but what's funny is I finished the game. I saw credits on the side, and then I was like, "Oh, where the fuck is Thor? I never saw Thor." And then I went away, and then I went back to the internet and I watched a recap of the whole story because I just wanted to have it all put together.
Yeah, you did.
And then at the end, and if you keep playing the game and go back home, you are gifted with an extra bonus scene. I was like, oh fuck, I didn't do that. I just stopped playing. But I did see the scene and I saw what happened, and Thor did show up at the end. So I still got to experience it, and obviously he's going to be in this next one, Thor Ragnarok. And I love it because I just finished this game. Thor Ragnarok is on the horizon this year. And I get to see the boy grow up and deal with the fact of like, do I keep who I am as Atreus?
Become who I am.
Or also Loki? Do I have to decide between being Loki as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite games. Like, it was so good, story-wise, gameplay-wise. I was so excited for you to finish.
And it had so many cool epic set pieces. One we talked about, the dragon fight scene was so kick-ass. It does scale so well. But there was also like a boat fight scene where I was floating up on a boat and we had all these people coming in and I had to protect the flames and I had to do all these moves. I loved the boat fight scene. there was the switching of between elements for enemies. So I was, Leviathan, boom, 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 boom. Oh, and then here comes the ice. So I have to switch to the blades
to the fire. Yeah.
Right. And so these are the moments where I love playing video games because it's just like I let go and my fingers and my brain do the rest. They're like, oh yeah, we got to go. It just, you flow with it. You're like, you just kind of work with the moves that work with you so well. And this was using what was happening for Guardians of the Galaxy, where in Guardians of the Galaxy, you can tell people what to do in your group. Like, okay, Groot, tie these people up. Rocket, throw a bomb. Gamora, slash these people. Because in this game, I was able to utilize Atreus as well as a secondary character, where I can like stun, boom, 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 R3, take him down. You know what I mean? And so
he feels a part of the combat as opposed to just being like, for example, The Last of Us, where a character is just kind of like a side.
Okay, I'm playing that next. Last of Us Remake is the next game I'm playing, so that's what.
Fuck me, god damn it! These are like my favorite PlayStation games. No, I don't want to overtalk it because I know Ed hasn't played it yet, but I just want to say, Luis, I hope you loved this game. It's one of my favorites, and I cannot wait for the sequel. If you don't play it immediately, don't worry. I will. I'm so ready to go.
That's my plan. I'm trying to play it immediately. Like when it comes out, I'm hyped. I'm hope that I can get some connections to get it soon. But no, man, like I said, I loved the elements of switching between elements. I saw the trailer. Afterwards, I went and saw the trailer for the first reveal trailer of God of War Ragnarok. I saw all the cool new like combos and movesets, and I was fucking ready for it.
Let's go.
It's very exciting. Ed, you should play God of War. It's
Luis,
cool.
I'm definitely going to text you separately about this, okay? Yeah. So just be ready to go.
Okay, cool. And when God of War comes out, we're going to be playing it at the same time, that Ragnarok, so that'll be exciting. And then finally, I just want to say there's a new iPhone update. For the most part, it's pretty simple. There's a thing where you can change the wallpapers. I won't really explain that. Go online and watch it for yourself. It's easier if you just see it for yourself. But the one thing I wanted to talk about is there's this new photo cropping ability where you can go to any photo, hold it down, and it will crop out the person. You can copy that and then paste it into your text message group.
You did that today.
I did that today.
Exactly.
I'm doing it all the time now. Obviously,
makes sense.
There's news about where you can edit text messaging and you can delete text messages. I will say, if you are in a group chat with someone or you are talking with someone who has not updated to the new update, they will still see the unedited versions and the undeleted versions. So I was in a group chat, I edited something, and then it said to me, like, for the people who didn't update, the changes will stay the same. So, you have to wait till that happens. But the photo cropping thing is amazing. I spent so much goddamn time trying to crop people out for thumbnails in my old work. I spent so much time, and now they do it in 2 seconds. If I could have done that in the past, I would have saved so much time. But it is pretty cool to just hold it and crop it. There's a lot more new updates. We'll talk about it as they come on. But
can we get a quick screenshot of everyone? You know what I mean? Like, can we just be like,
what's the
Yo, I swear to God, Luis, I want to see every single one of those, okay?
Wait, what do you want me to do? You want me to text you those images or something?
I don't care. Whatever. iOS it, all right?
Okay. I don't know what that was, but we did it, everybody. We talked a lot. I'm going to go drink some honey and tea for my throat. But listen, we did a lot. This is what we do. All right, we're nerding out. We're bringing the nerd news to you. And next week, we're doing the same. We're going to focus on... what's it called? House of the Dragon next week. We're bringing in our first guest next week. It'll be an exciting time. But hey, it's been me, Luis Gonzalez, and I've had the pleasure of talking to
Miguel Sanchez
and Deadpool.
And until next time, later, Gators.
Did it stop?
No, I'm waiting for you to finish by saying later Gators too.
Oh, later skates.
You son of a bitch.
I thought we were waiting for it to...
All right.
I'm too tired.
That was good.